Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. The loop begins. Today's show's packed tighter than your favorite pair of jeans after that Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, that's a true story coming up. Ever wondered if jotting down a few daily thank yous could dramatically boost your mood? I know it does. I'm diving deep into the 30-plus day gratitude journaling experiment I did during Deep Dive. Plus, Carl Nelson's here to talk Spotlight on center stage. You won't want to miss that conversation. Plus, we'll also cover some life-saving habits that take less than time that you scroll on TikTok, just 11 minutes. Yeah, plus we're unraveling the sneaky connection between insomnia and mental health in today's Morning Loop. And because life's too short for boring meetings, we're going to explore laughter capital, the understated, the underrated managerial metric that's all about to revolutionize workplaces. Laugh, you guys, laugh, make fun, have fun. I got to tell you, I've been in too many environments where people are too fucking stiff and stuffy. And, oh, by the way, this is an R-rated experience, so I might drop some bombs along the way that might offend people. But I've been in too many situations where folks like to have fun. They get all caught up. They get all caught up in the rules, get caught up in just too many social type norms. And I'm okay with social norms. I'm okay with etiquette. I'm okay with politeness. I'm okay with kindness. But guys, life is tough as it is. Let's have some fun. We're going to talk about laughter capital. And later in Minefield, we're going to see if AI therapy bots truly hold the key to slashing depression rates in half. Curious to know how AJ Seglin feels about that. I got to tell you guys, I've done some research and some of the older generations are folks of using AI like Google, when some of the younger folks are using AI in terms of life operating system platforms. But as I said, guys, before we dive into things, I just a little fair warning. This is an R-rated experience because I see the New Yorker Joe Fontana in the comments there. And I do know that Joe likes to drop the F-bomb every now and then. So if Fontana gets on the show, you guys might be offended. With Shakin' Joe, Logan Hook, good morning. I see you in the comments as well. Good morning and welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. This is a live conversational experience for men, starting off with myself and my buddy John Andersen, who is about to light it up, and I'm going to bring him in here so we can have a wonderful entry. I see him getting it ready. Jimmy, let's do it. Let's bring in the fire. What a shake.
I was all queued up today, baby.
I was watching you too. I'm like, okay, Billis and Andersen are making some good entertainment here, and I was watching the flame. Okay, Jimmy, as soon as the flame ignites, bring in the brother from another mother. How are you today, pal?
I'm good, brother.
Yeah?
I have a rocking day. Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. Why are you so good? Why? So yeah, let's share. Why are you so good today? I'm feeling good today too, man.
Yesterday was just one of those days where I did. I guess you'd put like, there's like we talked about before. There's things where you got to do work in your business and on your business.
Yeah.
And I got into the on the business part, and I just made some fucking really good headway.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It's fun making progress because God knows as an entrepreneur, you have to get through those times where you're busting your ass.
Yes.
Every day. Nobody's looking. There's no rewards. And you got to get up and you got to do it again tomorrow, having the faith that one of these days, bam, there it is.
Oh, brother, I can so relate. I want to talk about this in a few minutes with you because I had the same day yesterday. I'm feeling great today. I'm feeling accomplished. Good morning, Satan. Good morning, Satan. Satan, guys. Johnny. Oh, Satan's got some advice, sorry. When choosing a cigar, just fucking pick one. You guys act like picking a cigar is picking a prom dress or something. Well, when
have we ever talked about picking a cigar? That's what I want to know.
No, I'm thinking maybe he's suggesting rhetorically that sometimes guys get all caught up in. But I will. So Satan, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah. Make a goddamn decision.
Yes, but Johnny, I will say that when I pick my cannabis, it's like a fine wine or fine cigar. It's the same thing, or a fine coffee, right? You love your coffees. I know you love your coffee. So I know that when you're picking your coffee, you're not just sitting back and, maybe sometimes if you only got a couple dollars, you're getting the inexpensive one. But I know you enjoy your nice cup of brewed coffee. No different than choosing a nice cigar, brother.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's like cigars are... I mean, they're fun to try no matter what.
Yes.
It's almost like when you're young and you're out, experiencing different types of ladies, let's call it, right? There's the ones that are like, holy shit, man, I can't wait to drive this one down Front Street. Then there's the other ones like, fuck, I want to take this on a ride, but I don't want anybody to see. You got the scooter, you know what I mean? It's fun to ride, but don't ride it in front of your friends,
Oh my God, that is funny, right?
Then the cigar, of course. So it's great to pull out the big the expensive stick
Yeah.
in front of, but then at the same time, it's kind of fun to play with the ones that are like, because I like the flavored cigars. So it's kind of fun to play with that, because the more expensive ones are usually not flavored.
Yes, yeah. Hey, do the scooters depreciate in value after 2 a.m. once the bar is closing? There's a different value of scooter at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. And then sometimes you get a scooter at 4 a.m. And the scooters
scooters become faster as the night goes on.
Oh, I thought you were going to say fatter.
No, they actually get skinnier as the night goes on. They start off the night, they're fat as hell. I used to call those. It's like an insurance policy. I'll come back to you. I'll establish a connection, and if nothing else works out, I'll be back.
I'm just sweating like a motherfucker right now. I know that you were getting I know you were getting after it late last night. I discovered a brand new AI agent that I dropped into your inbox, and we were texting last night. I was like, fuck, Johnny's getting after it today. But I can relate to your feelings about in the business and on the business, because for those that don't know, I largely work on the thumbnails on our business. Like I'm the designer. I create the thumbnails, but that's in the business, and I've been working hard because I have a vision, Johnny, for how I want them to be. So I'm setting like a template, like a framework.
You have to create a system. That's exactly what. When I'm working in the business, it's either like me coaching clients that I want that relationship with. There's no replacement. Right? Yes. Or I'm working on creating a system that I can hand to the team and they can take the task.
Johnny, the real life analogy I like to use with folks is right now when you do that, you go into the kitchen, you're being the chef. You're making the meal, you're making the recipe so you can teach the sous chef to do it when you're not there. Right. And that's kind of how I equate it. Right. So I love what you said, though, because yesterday I found a couple new colleagues, I think, that I have found that I've brought to the team. And dude went to bed last night, got up this morning, and they accomplished some things that I set out to them. And I was like, yes, I might be able to move out of being in to on because of some of the skill sets and deliverables that these folks have done. So I can appreciate what you're saying, that sometimes you feel great after accomplishing something, right?
Totally. Real quick, I know we're rocking here, but what's this? They were talking about this AI thing. I'm sure everybody else in the world wants to hear about it too. So this is not the normal AI. This is some other version.
Yeah. So Manus AI, Manus.im, dropped in the market a couple of months ago. It's kind of a teaser, and it disrupted the AI world, disrupted a lot of people because it just showed up overnight. It dropped on X, and a lot of people were like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's this Manus thing? And what's different about it than ChatGPT and some of the other tools is that it actually acts like an agent that'll complete tasks. So here's an example. Hey, ChatGPT, find me 10 articles for us to talk about on the show today. Great, it does it. What I did with Manus yesterday was find me 10 articles, find me the authors of the 10 articles, find me the subjects in the 10 articles, write them the emails and send them the emails, and then book them on the show.
And chat wouldn't do that. Chat wouldn't do that.
Well, it can in some additional steps. You can't do it right now. I can't. Well, I can. It just takes some programming steps. But
I mean, the reason I asked that question is I don't use it in that capacity. I basically all I really use it for is to fill in. I probably use just a fraction of 1% of what it's for. It's like it helps me locate shit on the net, on the web, helps me spell check my shit. Helps me format stuff. What's interesting is I was read some stats yesterday from Sam Altman how the different generations are using ChatGPT. So old guys, like the old folks in the world, are using ChatGPT like they used to use Google, whereas your kids, my kids, are using ChatGPT like they're like life's operating systems. They're tying it into other tools. But they're seeing the data, how the different generations are using the tool differently, which is quite not surprising. It's quite fascinating, actually, because we're just seeing the evolution of how technology. Johnny, no different than when Google first came out, because you were around when I was when it first came out, and I was like, oh, okay, the encyclopedia is now on my desktop. Johnny, speaking of Sam Altman, I don't know if I ever told you. Did I ever tell you that my primary strongman training partner is actually his bodyguard?
Oh, no shit, eh?
Yeah, dude. He has a lot of people. I'll talk to him. I'm like, dude, what's going on over there? And he's like, he goes, I'm privy to some pretty crazy conversations.
Well, yeah.
Part of my deal is I got to keep that private. But he some of the things that he's actually told me a few things that are coming before they hit. I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah,
this is close enough that when they're releasing stuff. But he said they have some fucking crazy stuff on the horizon.
Yes. Hey, we got Carl Nelson in the green room. Carl, I see you there, brother. I see you there on the horizontal feed, and I see you there on the vertical feed. Awesome. We're going to bring you in a couple minutes. We're going to do the accountability check-in, and we're talking some gratitude today. I've been spending some time gratitude journaling on my device, Johnny. I know you're a traditional pencil pen gratitude journaler, but today on the show, I definitely want to get into some gratitude discussion. It was the hook for the show here today, and I love it, man, because every day I wake up, Johnny, I show this to you. Oh, I don't, but I'm just showing you what I see is on the front of my phone there. The question today is ask me what's on your mind. Right. And I love that because I open my phone up and it proactively encourages me to be positive. Like it really does. I open it up. I don't see negative news. It's like, oh, it's on my mind. Or yesterday was, what can you be kind about today? I was like, yeah, Matthew Rufy, the uncommon kindness. I'm like, I like that. So we're going to talk some journaling.
Go ahead, quick on that level. Something we've never discussed, which we probably should at some point.
Yeah.
One of the foundations of fucking doing great things is what questions are you asking yourself?
Oh, tell me more.
I'm telling you, brother, you ask yourself, you start asking yourself the proper questions.
Yes.
And you start discovering what's really going on with you. Why am I standing in front of the refrigerator like a dumb shit at 8:30 at night?
This is why I said to you yesterday that the skills of the future are rooted in philosophy, because all the knowledge is here, but to answer that question you're asking is a very human question, right?
Dude, and that was a kind of a silly one, but with this show, it's like, why am I continuing to go to a job that I don't want to have?
Yes.
And you start asking and the one why turns into the next, and really it's just kind of and I don't want to get people thinking that they just why themselves to death. But when you can why yourself to the point where you realize that maybe you've got some sort of a limiting belief, find that sucker and work on it. That's what it's about.
Yeah, limiting beliefs kill much of us. What's going on, Marty?
What's up, guys? What's going on, man?
Hey, brother. What's up,
how we feeling? How we feeling today, man?
Oh,
Come on, man. You got to ask that question.
Come on, man. My bad. I forgot who I'm talking to, man.
That's it. What is it? That's right. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
That's right. All right. Well, we got. What do you get when you got a teenage do-it-yourself home builder grows up to lead 25,000 plus projects for Starbucks and McDonald's and decides the whole system needs fixing? Yeah. Today's guest is on a mission to redesign how we renovate one imperfect, heartfelt home at a time. Coming up in 2 minutes is Carl Nelson. But guys, Jimmy, let's do the accountability check-in. We're going to chat with Carl, and then we're going to come back and continue the discussion around gratitude on the show here today, guys. Good morning. I see you all in the comments. Rick Clody, it's impossible to feel grateful and have any negative emotion going on at the same time. That's exactly true. John leans into that all the time. Your brain can't do it. It can't handle both. We got Satan. I hate waiting outside the tiny humidifier for 50 minutes because I don't want to be nuts to butts in there. Yeah, isn't that true, Satan? All right, we also got Fontana coming in the horizontals. We got Matthew Roof. Every day, ask yourself, what can I do for someone else right now? I ask myself about that once an hour. That's awesome, Roofy. I appreciate you, brother. Good to have you on the show today. Roof, you travel safe today. Of course, Matthew Roof's hanging out with us in the Business Athlete Performance Lab, helping driving the bottom line of the business. All right, guys, are you busy or are you wasting time? I know a lot of time wasters. Oh, I know Johnny does. I know Marty does. I know Jimmy does. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I hit the snooze button today. Oh, I got too many unimportant things to fucking do. Really? Hey, we had a guy on the show yesterday who showers with his guitar chord instructions on the fucking glass door. Every day he showers, he's learning his guitar chord for 10 minutes. Every week, he's 70 minutes ahead of the guy who says he's too busy to learn guitar. Nobody's too fucking busy. I don't even know if I should go into the accountability trick about being too busy because I don't, this whole thing, I'm too busy. I'm too fucking busy. How many times do you use it in a day? How many times do you use it in a day? Because we've made busy our automatic answer. It's like it's a fucking trophy. It's like it's this, oh, I'm busy. Yeah? No, you choose to be busy. If you're busy, you're a fucking loser. Because you are. You're not busy. It's called not using your time effectively. There's a difference between busy and accomplished. Like it proves that you're important. I'm busy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good for you. Go be busy with your busy friends. I want to hang out with accomplishing people. I want to hang out with people that are out achieving goals because busy justifies being exhausted. I hit the snooze button, so I'm busy today. Yeah. Like, it explains why we're not where we want to be. But here's the truth. Here's the truth, you guys. Most of us aren't overloaded. We're just unfocused. We bounce between unimportant task to next unimportant task to next unimportant task. And then we react. And then when you're reacting, you're losing. When you've reacted, you've lost. Yeah. Have you ever had a customer say to you, oh, geez, why is Joe Fontana calling me 10 times a week to make sure I'm good? Probably not. But they're probably calling saying, why the fuck isn't Joe Fontana calling me? Exactly. So if you're reacting, you're losing. Working all day without moving the needle is brutal. And by the end of it, what happens is we're drained. Yeah, we're drained. Not because we did too much, not because of what it was, because it was meaningful. So I invite you guys to do this. Stop saying I'm busy. I invite you, don't say I'm busy today. Not at all. Not once. Say what you're doing. I'm actually working on this right now. And you know what? When you say it, ask yourself, it's important. Is it moving the needle? Is it driving revenue in your life? If it's not, stop doing it. Stop saying you're busy and get the hell on to something else. There's your accountability check-in this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. A little bit of attitude getting you guys going here today. This I'm busy bullshit, man. I don't got time for I'm busy. Nope. You're choosing to be busy is what it is. All right, Jimmy, I'm getting it set up, man. Welcome back to the show. We got somebody coming up here in the green room. We got Carl Nelson, the founder of Visual PMW, a residential architecture studio that's redefining what it means to design a home. Carl started in construction as a teenager, building his own family's house, and eventually led to tens of thousands of commercially built homes across the U.S. for some of the biggest brands out there. Now, this dude's laser focused on helping homeowners navigate renovations without the choice, without the chaos. And I bet you Carl doesn't sit around and say, I'm fucking busy. I don't got time to do stuff because I'm busy. Nah, we're going to dig into how Carl blends high-level design with real-world buildability, why he believes good architecture is essential, not optional, and how service, sustainability, and leading with love. Carl Nelson's drinking the business athlete cool coffee, leading with love, and here become the foundation of his work. Jimmy, let's bring him in. Let's bring in Carl Nelson. What's going on, Carl?
Hey, morning, guys.
What's up, Carl? Hey, before we get started, brother, I can hear when I'm taking a piss. Average men say I'm busy. Successful men say, let's do it.
Yes, brother. Fucking love it, Johnny. Thanks for hopping on to my commentary there, because you're right, man. We don't have time for the I'm busy moniker. Carl, what do you say to that when somebody says I'm busy?
What's up, Carl?
I mean, we're all busy. I mean,
right?
if you're not busy, you're lazy. I mean, we're all busy doing stuff. So it's not necessarily an excuse, but yeah, we're all busy.
Speaking of busy, I have to ask the question. Marty,
busy's like the new I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I say I'm busy when I don't want to do something. Like if I don't want to go somewhere, I'm trying to swerve somebody. Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah.
It's not lost upon me, Nelson, that I see a couple things hanging over your right shoulder. It looks like you might have skateboarded once or twice in your life.
That's a new thing. I started skateboarding at 44 years in COVID, bored, doing nothing.
Good for you, brother. Good for you.
Now I skate every day.
Oh,
dude,
wow.
That is awesome. So hold on, I got a rant. I'm going to use the rant word, guys. Anybody sitting there saying too busy, or anybody sitting there saying they can't do anything, I can't, or I just don't know how to do it. 44 years old, the dude gets up, he's like, I've never skateboarded before. Now he's got a fucking rack of skateboards behind his head, and he skateboards every single day. That's awesome.
I love that shit, man. You do that shit that keeps you young, man. I ride my dirt bike, man. I go down on that fucker, and it's like, holy Christ, it takes me a week to recover. But that, when I'm suiting up and I'm putting all that fucking gear on, I got the butterflies, because I know it's I'm sure you experience the same thing, brother. Yeah.
No, it's the same thing. It's just that, it's just learning something new. It's like, I'm out there with all the kids every day. I mean,
take some risks, baby. Hell yeah.
It's really just a mental break from the day, especially when you start a new company. I wear so many hats to do everything. I need to transition from like one hat to the next, and the skate park's a block from my office, and so I'll walk to the skate park, go skate for 10 minutes, I go back to work. I'll do that a couple times a day if it's nice. It's shitty when it's not nice.
You know what I love about that?
Tell me if I'm right on this one, brother. Similar, like when I'm riding my dirt bike, there's enough danger involved. I can't think about. I shouldn't say can't. If I choose to think about something else, I'm fucking done. I'm wrecking. You're probably 10 minutes of you making sure you don't break an elbow. focused on your skating. So when you do something like that, it is truly a break, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. Especially like, there's definitely some ADHD going on in my head. So like there's all my mind's always running to other things. So it definitely kind of, you have to focus it, not every time I skate, like I'm always like, I can get everything out, but not all the time, but usually you can definitely tell when you start focusing on what you're doing. And and when you're not, you can fall.
You know what I love about it, Marty, is that we have Carl here skating at a skate park. And we know there's a bunch of young dudes over there that are looking at this guy going, holy fuck, man, this guy's getting after it. And they're going to think he's some old dude, Carl. But yet you're setting an example for these kids that are like, and like Matthew Roof said, you don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing. And you're showing these kids that there's a big future here. And I love that because you're setting a wonderful example for these kids that don't know that as they get older, that skateboarding might be an option, dude. Now that's awesome right there.
Carl. Forgive me, brother. I think I can't see under your hat. You got some gray hair, it appears, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of gray hair. You guys got me.
That is so fucking perfect, though. You're out there. You're the only gray-haired dude fucking crushing a skateboard. I love that, brother.
Yeah, well, you guys got me up here at 5 a.m., so like that's the hat that's on. You're not going to see the hair.
I love it, dude.
Carl, I brought you on because I saw your story of going 25,000 homes, but from teenage builder to Starbucks executive to homeowner whisperer. Dude, you got a story, man. Tell us how your journey unfolded and when did you realize that the residential space needed disruption like you could disrupt it? Carl Nelson.
Yeah. So like, when I was 14, my parents moved out, kind of way out in the country, and so me, my grandfather, my dad, and a family friend built our family home.
Yeah.
So that was like my introduction into like home building and architecture and seeing plans for the first time. So that was a great experience. I was the laborer, I was the grunt. I carried every single piece of plywood on that house. So like, I think at that point I realized like, I like the idea of like building a house and designing it, and maybe like carrying shit up the thing wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So like my senior year of high school, like they brought a AutoCAD lab into the school for the first time. So I learned the basic software of how to use AutoCAD.
Yeah.
And so right after I graduated, the architect in town was figuring out how to get from hand-drawn drawings to AutoCAD. And so I came on, and for a couple years, we kind of figured out how to use AutoCAD together, and he taught me kind of the basics of architecture for 3 or 4 years.
That's cool.
So I moved to the city, moved in Seattle kind of after that, worked on a bunch of fancy high-end houses in Seattle with a really cool architect, learned a lot. And so first 10 years of my career was all residential stuff. So I just kind of understood the marketplace a little bit. I understood how houses worked.
Brother, real quick, forgive me. Are you still in Seattle?
Yeah, I'm just outside of Seattle right now.
So just for everybody that never lived in the Northwest, that means our man here is skating in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been kicked out of parking garages. Like
it rains more. I mean, I grew up on the Willamette River in Oregon. I went to school at University of Portland. We used to go to Seattle all the time. That was the grunge era, and dude, I mean, even in Portland, but Seattle, even worse. If you go 6 months without seeing the sun, it's raining almost every day.
Yeah, you can. You find the parking garages, and where to skate, and that's what you do. Like it's
see, there's no limitation here. He wants to do it. He finds a way to do it. Yes. I love this.
Yeah.
So like, residential first half of my career, I was actually in the Army National Guard, and I got shipped off to Kuwait for a year in like 03, 04.
Wow.
And when I came back, I said, I just started, I needed to find a new job in the architecture world. And so I found my home at a place that does kind of commercial projects for companies like Starbucks and McDonald's. And so kind of through that time, the commercial world is much different than the architecture, and kind of the 6 years before COVID, Starbucks was my client. And so what Starbucks does, like they and McDonald's was my client for another 5 years before that. And what those guys do, they're probably the most efficient design and construction companies in the world because they have thousands of locations everywhere.
Yeah.
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 And so the specific,
like, think about it from that perspective. That's a really good point, brother.
It is,
yeah.
And they put locations up quickly too.
Yeah. But so we did a few new stores, but what my team did for them is whenever they want to launch a new product or change up a store a little bit, like they want to figure out how to do that. They kind of go through this process as they test out new products in a few stores, in a few hundred stores, and then every store. And so they want to, and so like Nitro Coffee was the big product, that one of the products. We helped launch 3 different products, but Nitro Coffee was a great example because we did it in every store. And it involves adding like a tap. There's like a little 2 taps there.
Yeah.
There's a little under counter mini fridge.
Yeah.
There's a tank of nitrogen and a couple other little components. And so everyone's been to Starbucks. You go back in that little back area, it's jam packed full of shit. Like it's a production line, and you put something in there, you're fucking up the production line. So like, how do we get stuff in without messing up the production line? There's no plans for Starbucks. We need fractional inch dimensions. So we actually sent a crew to every single store. So we had LiDAR scanning technology and had a whole process of sending people to the store.
How many locations are we talking here?
Yeah.
Every single location more than once.
Wow.
How many locations are there? I have no clue.
In the U.S., they have a little over 15,000 locations.
Holy Christ.
What I love about this is that nowhere within what I love about this, Johnny, there's nowhere in the conversation where I've heard the word "I can't" yet.
No.
Like
my man skateboards in the rain.
Yeah, but what I love about it too, though, is that can you go into the back of that Starbucks and move the counter around there about 7 1,000ths of an inch? Nobody's saying no, I can't. Sorry, I can't do it. You're like,
yeah, well, you can't get to where he is using that phrase.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to look at all the solutions in different creative ways and different angles, I guess. That's kind of the way when we look at trying to solve an architectural problem. Like, I mean, that's all problems, right? Just have to
highly skilled problem solver right here.
Yeah. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, Marty, and our guest Carl Nelson this morning, who's gone from Starbucks, McDonald's to building and disrupting the residential home industry. Marty, let's do the fit tip with Marty, Jimmy, and then we're going to come back. Carl, can you hang around for a few more minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. You got your ass in bed. You might as well hang out for a few more minutes. Yeah, exactly. All right, so Jimmy, let's do the fit tip with Marty. Then we're going to come back and keep the conversation going with our guest this morning, Carl Nelson. Let's do it, guys. All right, where's my sound?
Hey, Keith, you ain't playing my music, man. You got to tighten up, Keith. But we got the fitness tip for today, and that is there's no shortcuts, right? There's no shortcuts to your fitness goal. So why am I saying this, right? We got a lot of gimmicks nowadays. We got the shapewear, the waist trainers, the tees, and even actually, I'm not going to bring that up. I don't want to get controversial today. But a lot of people do things, right, to try to get rid of decades of bad habits, right? If you have been, consistently drinking alcohol, fried food, sedentary lifestyle, sitting at the desk, not getting nutrients, not getting antioxidants in your body, not hydrating yourself, there's no way to reverse that with a quick fix. And if you do get, if you drop weight quickly, more than likely, you didn't develop the discipline, and you're probably going to fall off and gain the weight right back, if not more. So understand that slow grind is always better than no grind. All right. You might not be seeing the results as quickly as you want to, but it does not mean you're not making progress. All right. Take your time, develop some consistency, develop some habits with your exercise, with your nutrition, with your hydration, etc., and you'll hit the goal. Don't try to take a shortcut. That's the fitness tip for today.
No shortcuts, and don't shortcut to the word "I'm busy." No, we don't offer "I'm busy" here. This morning we're joined by our friend Carl Nelson, who all the way from Seattle, the founder of Visual PMW, a residential architect studio that's redefining what it means to design a home. The guy's worked with Starbucks, McDonald's. Now we're talking about Carl's journey as we get into the second half hour of Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help you guys get your ass out of bed, bring quality back to the home building is what Good Time says. We got Matthew Roof joining us with our fathers and our father figures set the wheels in motion by showing us the way, and clearly that's what happened in Carl Nelson's world. It works both ways through good and bad. Explore your influences, eliminate the bad, accelerate the good. And Rufy says, skating in the rain, I'm skating in the rain. And Fontana says, isn't that technically skiing if it's in the rain all of the time? Hey, Carl, so let's continue your discussion on your journey. Starbucks, McDonald's.
I got a dip, Keith.
You got a dip. Marty's got to rock home. Marty, have a good day, brother.
Yes, sir. Carl, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you as well.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have a good look, Mark.
Tomorrow. Yep.
You got it.
All right, Marty's rock and rolling out of here, and myself and Johnny are going to keep the show going with Carl. So, Carl, let's continue your journey, brother. So you moved from Starbucks and McDonald's, and then it was like, hey, it's time to go disrupt the home industry, the home building industry.
Yeah, I don't know if it was something I had intentionally thought about doing. COVID happened. I was already kind of, COVID happened. I had 20-man team, and I had to let all of them go or furlough them. Starbucks and all of those people just stopped doing shit.
Yes.
And so I was already kind of not happy with my company, not happy with where I was at anyway at the time. So like kind of leading up to that. So, I left. I was actually fired for this idea of this company, because during the time of COVID, we kind of sat around for about a month, and I did some market research and had a bunch of, and like, where is this specific skill set that we're using for Starbucks and McDonald's? Where else in the world of architecture and construction can these things help? And so my background in residential, my current partner had some background in residential, and all the research we kept pointing to was like, residential just is, this chaotic world of just chaos. There's no organization, there's no structure to it. So we left, and like right in the middle of COVID, and we just started noodling around with ideas.
Yeah.
And kind of over the last 5 years, we've just kind of seen like there's it's so dominated by all these small businesses that the homeowner experience when they want to like remodel or renovate the house is vastly different. I mean, I think there's an expectation for most people that when you remodel your home, it's going to be a pain in the ass and it's going to be expensive. I mean, that's just the expected standard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the starting point we have, is that it's just a pain in the ass.
It's a low barrier. It's you got nothing but opportunity at that point, Carl.
Yeah.
You got nothing but, and so we got Rick Clody coming in, and I love this. And I got to tell you, Carl, why I brought you on here while we knocked on your door, and it has to do with transformation. Before I get there, Rick Clody says, and Johnny, I know you can relate to this too, because we've heard this often. When Carl says COVID happens, all I can think of is shit happens. And here's the thing, Carl didn't quit. And a lot of folks did quit during COVID. So the fact that
COVID was an opportunity. The fucking winners kept winning. They had to pivot. But I mean, it was like when that shit hit, I was as shocked as everybody else. But when the whole thing was over, I was already better.
Yes. And Carl.
And same with Carl. He basically, it was a force. Look what he did. He pivoted because of the situation. Now he took that lemon and made some fucking lemonade. That's what life is. That's an entrepreneur.
Exactly, Johnny. And here's frankly one of the reasons why, I knocked on his door and invited him to the show. Because John, Carl talks a lot about transformation in his content. And Carl, you talk about transformation not just of spaces, but you talk about transformation of minds, relationships, and communities. I got to tell you, man, your philosophy of architecture is clearly deeply human, not just technical. And again, brother, I'm going to be really frank with you. You were intentionally selected on this show because I look at your content and I'm like, this guy's an architecture, but he's really a philosophical human. Like I got a vibe from you. Talk about transformation to you, Carl Nelson.
Oh, I mean, the transformation's kind of been a long journey for me. I mean, when I think about transformation, I just think more of like, I think more about the spiritual journey. I mean, I grew up going to church as a kid.
Yes.
Grew up in the evangelical world, and maybe it's about 10 years ago now. Like I was a part of a big church where the pastor made this big, huge, inclusive statement of faith to accept the LGBT community, and that kind of like I kind of shift my mind of thinking is like, oh, like what is this thing that we're talking about? And so over the next 10 years, like there's this kind of transformation, like kind of away from the church and kind of to a different spiritual place and thinking. And so that big, huge transformation kind of like kind of is centered around everything is just like, I've totally kind of went from one way of thinking to another. So like that specific thing made me just like question everything I do. Like not just spiritual, but just why am I doing this? Like, so it's just,
dude, that's those questions we were talking about.
Yeah.
Before you came on, we were talking about when a person asks the right questions, it really helps them develop.
Yeah.
Those questions of yourself,
Yeah. I mean, like, cause we talked about like, when something shitty happens, like, what do we do next? And like, this week, my assistant just is leaving me, and she has a better opportunity, and that sucks. It's like, fuck, like, now what do I do? Like, she helps me out so much. It's like, what do I fucking do now?
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about everything that she does, and like, and the things that she can't do, and and so like, how do I replace her? And like, okay, well, we're not replacing her. We're gonna do something different. Like, I'm doing a whole different approach.
Yeah.
And so like, it's just like, let's do something different. Like, there's a part of what we're doing right now that's missing, that's I need to find. And so like that's kind of,
But you strike me as a guy that also wished her well. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Like, she's helping me out. Yeah. I mean, the email communication we had back and forth when she told me, I mean, she's in Argentina. So like, and so like it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Carl, I got to tell you, man, and Johnny, you're going to, brother, you're going to love what I say next, Johnny. So Carl also talks about being an imperfect human in process. Like, hang on that. I love that. I'm looking at your content. I'm like,
anybody that says that they're not fucking, anybody that tries to say that they don't need help, they're perfect, they don't need to develop. This is the dumbest person on the planet.
I know, like this dude. I was excited to have him on the show today because the guy's like drinking the same Kool-Aid. They were drinking. I haven't even met the guy before. But Carl, you talk about this idea of an imperfect human in process. I fucking love that statement. Imperfect human in process. That's brilliant. How does that mindset show up in your work, with your clients, and frankly, Carl, with your teams? Because if you're living that, you're teaching people in your circle that, and people don't wake up thinking that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it helps with the team too. I mean, because I think that I feel like everyone that's ever worked for me has always enjoyed to work for me. Yeah. I've never had like a disgruntled staff, someone upset. I've never had a staff ever of all the people who've worked for me be upset. We're mad at me personally for something. He's probably mad at something that's going on and whatever we're doing. But like, and so I think there's a lot of grace you have to give to the people you work with, and to make sure like everyone's probably going through some shit on some day. So like, maybe whatever happened that day, I think we make too many assumptions about the way people think and the way people do. So I think just there's everyone's imperfect. My wife helps me know that every day. My teenage kids tell me how imperfect I am just because they're little shit sometimes. But yeah, like it's I mean, there's plenty of voices out there telling me I'm imperfect all the time. So you just grasp it, just understand we're all that way, and just trying to get better, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Johnny?
Yeah, man, I fucking love it. Yeah. I think that, I'm going to do my lifestyle tip inspired by Carl with transformation, baby. I'm excited. It's like, because I look at Carl, I look at you, and with you hearing your story, everything from business to personal to what you're talking about with, you like your family, dude, you're just, and I say this as a compliment, and I feel this way with myself too. You're just one big transformation. Yeah. And people use that word wrong. And I think that's what I'm going to talk about in my lifestyle tip. But you're brother, fucking good shit, man.
I'm with you, Jordan. And Carl, let's play on that, because something you said something, you got kids. And then you talked earlier in the show about your journey on how your father influenced, your journey in life. How many kids do you have, Carl?
I have 3.
You have 3 boys, girls, bit of both?
I have twin boys that are freshmen and a girl that's a senior or a junior.
What's with the fucking twins? Wow. I got a new brother in my life. Matthew Ruffy's got twins. I got another brother in my life, Jack Reamer, who I've been working on the sales has got twins in my life. Now I got a new brother on the show, Carl Nelson's got fucking twins in his life. Johnny,
I believe it's got to do with the females. I don't think it's got anything to do with the male.
I got a twin story for you. My wife and her 3 best friends. 16 years ago went on a trip to Hawaii.
Yes.
So there's 4 girls, went on a trip to Hawaii, had a good time, came back. And these are my wife's 3 best friends in the world. And so we had twins first. A year later, her other best friend had twins.
Yes.
A year and a half later, after that, her other best friend had twins, and 2 years after that, her other best friend. So my wife's three best friends all have twins.
Something in
You know,
Hawaii.
it's
right, Carl?
crazy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm not a woman. Actually, I kind of a woman trapped in a man's body, but that's
Yeah.
beside the point.
Yes.
But I believe that there's studies when you put females that are really connected together, they actually start to ovulate at the same time. They actually start. So I wonder if there's some connection to them being so close that they produce that fucking double egg.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Who
knows? Because every nation, Johnny Andersen, the woman trapped, the man trapped. He knows. Johnny,
the woman trapped in a man's body. That's right.
He knows.
I was supposed to be my mom's little girl. You know, the first boy, he was 6 pounds. The next one was 8, and she's like, God, I want a little girl. Boom, I come out at 10 pounds. She's like, I can't have any more. The next one's gonna kill me.
Well, you did say you did have tits when you were a fat young son of a bitch, Johnny. So maybe there's one.
I did, and I cried a lot. So I'm sure I was close. You know.
But Carl, stay on my line of track, Carl. So what are you teaching your kids that your father taught you, and how are you continuing the conversation about with your children about being that imperfect human in process, Carl?
I mean, my wife's much better at like this part than me, but I think what she does and what we do really well is like we just make sure that there's always like our kids are allowed to talk about their feelings. You know, she's really good at that, and so just talk about what's going on in your head. Like, it's a lot of pulling and dragging sometimes. And
dude, let me just jump in right there. I just want to say that is something I think parents miss. We had this thing with our kids called free talk. They could come to us and say free talk. There was we were fucking we shut up. We listened because we knew they needed to get something on the table, and there was not going to be an immediate punishment. We just gave them that space. So I love the fact that, you did the same thing, because kids need to be able to come to their parents. And if they can't, they go to somebody, and sometimes that somebody's not the right person.
Yeah, and I would say that growing up in a Christian household, like maybe it wasn't something that was modeled in my house. It was more the opposite of what happened in my house. Is there was just a lot of guilt kind of talk around living up in the Christian home, like you can't do this because someone's watching down on you. And so I think that there's a lot of guilt about like just not. And so that I think there was a not sharing in my house growing up. I do have sometimes a challenge with like just sharing like just like at home with kids and my wife sometimes. And so I think just I'm happy that my kids are able to like, and they tell us most everything. There's not a lot
but going through that, you clearly realize that was hard for you. You don't want that for them. That's probably part of the reason why you're able to do what you do.
Yes. Good morning, Be Driven, Bernard. Yes, you just joined the show in time for us to talk about Johnny's tits. Exactly. Rick Clody coming in with the John Andersen is so right. I managed a team of 9 female salespeople once, and there were 3 to 4 days per month that I stayed away from the office because.
So that is true. I've heard that, but I felt like I had some study for it. I just keep in mind, I lived in a household with always 3, sometimes 4 females.
That's it. We got Lady Drew coming in. Lady Drew, I always love to have you in the comments. Good to see you there in the comments. And of course, Roofy coming in. And Carl, Roofy's a twin dad as well. He's talking about it's actually the woman who determined it. And absolutely, they do cycle together. All the learnings you get here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friend. Coming up at the 8:45 Eastern mark of the show here, we're going to do the lifestyle tip with John Andersen. We're going to wrap up with Carl here in a couple of seconds. Carl, I'll get some rapid fire for you, brother. Some quick hitters for you, man.
Sure.
What's the ugliest paint color that you secretly love, Carl Nelson?
I mean, I love colors. I'm working the purple Vans right now. So
nice.
Any color, I'll rock the color.
So purple Vans. So I'm thinking, Andersen, that Carl woke up at 44. COVID's happening. He's like, yeah, I'm going to buy a skateboard and a bunch of new fucking clothing. I'm now 18. Is that how it works, Carl? Yeah. Morning blueprint sessions or late night sketching?
Late night sketching, for sure. Yeah.
Favorite construction tool?
Oh, the tape measure.
Oh, did I lose you there? Oh, favorite construction tool?
Oh, the tape measure.
He said the tape measure, brother.
Oh, sorry.
We got it.
My dog came in and interrupted me. Worst renovation reality show cliche.
I think the cliche is that you can walk. I think the cliche in all the reality shows is like, you know, what you the all the design reality shows are a big cliche. I guess they all are. Like, you know, that is not reality. Those shows. It's not the way it happens.
I was gonna say, I suspect your answer was gonna be the whole reality show is.
Yeah, you're not remodeling a house in a week. Like it's just like.
Most inspiring building you've ever seen. Oh, I like this one.
Most inspiring building I've ever seen.
Yeah, as an architect, as you traveled around the world, what are some things you've seen that you're like, holy fuck, that's really cool?
I mean, a few years ago, I went on a trip to Paris with my wife, and I tagged along for a journey, and I spent like a whole day by myself wandering around the city.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have favorites, so like I can't say one building. I just don't have favorites for some reason. I just like, when everyone's ever asked me a favorite, I really have a difficult time with answering that. But I think just the whole experience of walking through any new city and any new place that's different than where I've been to is like always my favorite thing, is just like walking around and looking.
Yeah, I love that. And so I'm going to make an assumption here, because you come from a place of human design and perspective around that. You look at buildings very differently than perhaps, you know, I would or somebody else would, because you're seeing the human side of it. I'm thinking, Carl. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think I'm loving homes, is that is the most important. That the home is the most important building to everyone.
You know what I said to somebody who's building my house when my house was being built? I said to the man who's framing my house, said, you know, brother, thank you. He's like, why are you thanking me? Because he's taking it for granted. Because you're building a legacy for my family. Like, what? I go, no, but you are. You're building memories. You're building a legacy that when you leave here, he's like, yeah, I'm just framing your house. I go, no, man, you're actually building memories for me. You're building a legacy for me. It's a very human thing, is what he's doing for me, right? So, totally. Hey, Carl, if homes reflect who we are, our final question, pal. If homes reflect who we are, what would your own home say about you right now?
Oh, well, my home's home. I mean, I have to walk around and see how messy it is right now with all the kids. I mean, I think it's a welcoming place. I think we constantly have teenagers rolling through the house every day. My wife made a whole bunch of food yesterday in the fridge, to like little pre-made meals, and everyone came home from high school to go from the lunch break from school, because we live a mile from the school, and ate up all our food. And she didn't complain about it. She was like, oh shit. But she loves having the kids. She works from home. She loves having just kids in the house. So I think it's just a welcoming place that anyone's welcome. I mean, that's home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Carl, final words from you, brother. Where can folks connect with you? How can folks find you? And how can folks engage with Carl Nelson, the founder of Visual PNW, an architecture studio outside of Seattle, focus on remodels, additions, and custom homes with an emphasis on sustainability, building, and a guided client experience. Carl, where can folks connect with you?
Yeah, LinkedIn's a great place. You know, LinkedIn, my website's visualpnw.com. Yeah, like right now we're just looking for, you know, investors. We're looking for partnerships. We're looking for people outside of the industry, really, that can help. Nice. I think the biggest part of, I think, what we're dealing with now is a housing crisis that continues to grow. Housing affordability is kind of going through the roof. Yeah, there's a loss in skill in the labor trade that's happening, and there's less labor out there. There's less good labor out there, and so I think houses are being built so inefficiently these days that one little way to help kind of solve the crisis of housing costs is just, we should be building a little bit smarter, a little bit better, and making our houses last for 100 years.
That sounds like a further conversation we need to dig into a different show, because I'm intrigued by your comment there about inefficient, because I'm suspecting that is the biggest challenge right now, why home prices are going up, because there's a lot of fucking, I don't got time to get into, but there's a lot of inefficiencies, isn't there, Carl? It really is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I could talk for hours and cuss at you for hours about how the city is hurting us as well. I mean, it's across every person that's involved.
I bet. Carl, you got somebody here in the comments. Bernard Aldis, B-Driven Equipment. Man, 30 years in construction, and I wish everyone thought the way that you do. Some nice compliment from you. And we got B-Driven come back with Detroit is selling dirt cheap right now. And then we got Benzie coming in with my house told me I'm doing much better by spending less time in the kitchen than what I used to. Good morning, Benzie. Good to see you there as well. Carl, Thanks for joining us today, man. Thanks for getting after it, and I hope you had some fun with us this morning.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Keith and John.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to come knock on the door, grab a coffee with you, and hopefully we can hang out together in the future again, okay?
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right, Carl's going to get out of here. John's going to do the lifestyle tip, and we've got AJ Zeglin coming in. We're going to talk AI chatbot therapy, and we're talking gratitude with AJ coming up in less than 2 minutes. Get after Johnny.
All right, this one is inspired by our conversation with Carl. The word transformation. I think this word is looked at from a very surface level. When you say transformation, people think, a before and after picture. They think, how much weight did you lose? Well, in actuality, transformation is your whole being. Yes, it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And really what it represents is change. And if you want to continue to get better, you must change. If you're not changing, you're not growing. So when you think of the word transformation, stop looking at it from a surface level. And, we also talked about ask yourself questions. That's a great way to get moving. What type of transformations have you made in the last 12 months? Many of you've only been focused on the skin, the surface level. But really, it comes down to the outside will change when you focus on the inside. You focus on your mindset, you focus on your habits. You'll transform physically just as a positive side effect. Hell, it's like the exhaust. It's just literally gonna happen. So remember, transformation, it's much deeper than what most people think. Rock and roll.
I love that we're talking transformation. We're continuing that theme. Dude, I'm a fan of Carl Nelson, man. Dude, the guy rocked it up, man.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
Absolutely. Got some comments. What's going on, Zeglin?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Jay, what's up, my brother?
Hey. I just want to finish some comments here from our guest, Carl Nelson. I don't know if you've got a chance to hear any of Carl Nelson's stuff there, AJ, but solid dude from Seattle, disrupting the home building industry. Talk a lot about the inefficiencies in it. We got some, it clearly struck a nerve in the comments here. We got a good time coming with. I just had my house finished in February. It's the subcontractor and the subcontractor and the permits. We got Bernard from Be Driven saying construction workers are feast or famine, and there's more available options for stability. So less people in the trades unless they go self-employed. And then we got good time. A lot of them are talented. They just can't manage themselves. And I think that's part of it, which is the inefficiencies, right? They're talented, but maybe just the lack of structure and so forth. But and then we got Bernard come back with Man I'll Go Raw Test segment, which is really great. And of course, Lady Drew is always coming in with some great stuff. Start lifting the spiritual weights. Heaviest, light, and the mental weight of where you can walk and so forth. But AJ, how are you today, pal? What's going on today? I got a few things. I got two things to talk about today. I got one that I'm really curious about you about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. That's great. I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to it's our biggest game of the year tonight, man.
It is our biggest game of the year tonight.
I'm looking forward to it.
Also a cliche. We just have to win one, AJ. Just one.
Yeah. You don't got to win. You don't got to win 3 games in a row. You got to win one game 3 times, right?
That's right. Yes, exactly. Just ask the Florida Panthers.
Exactly. Yeah. People do it all the time. Like it's doable. It's I believe we can do it. So I'm looking forward to watching them do it.
That's right. Good time. Let's go Whalers.
Small steps.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. Can talking to a chatbot really treat depression or anxiety? And AJ, according to a new clinical trial published in a research paper I found, the answer is a surprising
yes. Who published it? Let's go with who published it first.
NEJM AJ. It was shortened here in my notes here, so I will. I can dig it out here.
Did you think it was a good, a solid? I guess you'd say.
Yeah,
foundation or whatever. Something that's going to bring real information, or they're trying to prove a point for their sales.
Oh, that's good. That's a fuck, Johnny. Great question, man. I know I like that too, because is there what's the word I'm looking for? Is there a
motive?
Motive, exactly. Yeah. No, this came from Dartmouth University. So they're talking about how their Therabot, they created a bot that achieved results on par, AJ, with human therapists. And the results were cutting depression symptoms, the key word there, symptoms, by over 50%. Anxiety by 31%, and all in just 8 weeks. Now, this is not just a tech gimmick. this Therabot, and I've been talking with Matthew Roof here a lot about Big Heart, another type of bot that does, I think, something similar. But Therabot, AJ, represents a potential turning point in mental health care, especially as we face a global shortage of providers like yourself. It offers real hope to people who need support but can't get it, especially during moments of peak distress. The study, a first of a kind randomized clinical trial, evaluated across depression, anxiety, and eating disorders. Here were the results. Depression symptoms reduced by 51%, anxiety dropped by 31%, eating disorder-related concerns down 90%. The therapeutic bond, and this is what I thought about with you, AJ. The users formed an emotional connection with the bot comparable to human therapists despite just 6 hours of total use.
I'm sorry, giggle. I just got this being kind thing. So one of my team members was working on a slideshow, a presentation, right?
Yeah.
And we were reviewing it, and he's like, everything's ready. And I asked chat to, it's all created. He put the slides into gave me a link to get into the, whatever you call it, the fucking Dropbox or whatever the shit that is. I don't know this stuff. And he goes, and it won't work. And I said, well, then just keep asking it, hey, what do I do next? And so I listened to him. We're on the phone. I listened to him do the next. I'm like, dude, try that again and be nice.
Yes.
Gary told me if you're nice to these things, they do. And so I'm always nice to mine. I don't say, hey, I told you to do this. I say, hey, please remember we talked about this, So he does it.
Yeah.
It gives him another link, and the fucking link worked. We were shitting in our pants. We were like, oh my, I didn't think it was going to be that clear.
And Johnny Altman has revealed publicly that politeness is costing OpenAI millions of dollars because
people are going back in to say, I'm sorry for calling you a cocksucker.
It's processing power. So every time you're saying thank you and please, it's actually costing money, right? So I find it quite hilarious. But AJ,
what about the long apologies to start off the process?
AJ, you as a therapist, and I find this fascinating, especially when I found this, because you're stepping into this industry at a time when humans need more humans like you. True story. Yeah. But yet now there's these tools that are in some ways, and I'm not going to say replacing you, but maybe being as effective as a human therapist. What is your initial reaction? Like not a lot of thought, initial reaction, AJ Zeglin.
Yeah. So my initial reaction is that it's a tool, like a list of other tools that you could have in your toolbox, and everything is context dependent and depends on the situation and the individual. So I don't take it like personally. I don't feel like attacked by it. I don't feel threatened by the use of it. Like I think I'm like, hey, if this is something that can be beneficial for people, right? It's not about me.
Yes.
It's about the people I'm working with. If I could use it in a way that's maybe constructive to help other people, then it's a tool. I would use it. I think there are some holes in it, like some stuff that's missing.
Okay.
That I'm not sure. I mean, I'm obviously not sure what they're capable of doing with AI and where it's capable of going in the future. But, I would say my biggest, I don't want to say a concern, but the biggest shortcomings that I would see with it right now is that, we've talked about this a lot with the elements of communication and how that's made up, right? And so as of right now, from my understanding, like the AI is only going to know what I type in to it. And it doesn't see my body language. It doesn't see my facial expressions.
It does.
It doesn't see it. Okay. So if it does, then that's obviously very helpful, right?
Yeah.
And then because else then it would just be missing, right? Because one of the things that you try to decipher and build in your relationship with a client when I'm working with someone is, part of it is like, do I think they're telling the truth?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So someone could have told themselves a story for so long in a way to help protect themselves, right? That, so now I'm trying to decipher too, like, what's the story this person's telling themselves? What's the narrative that they've been living with for so long that they've created to help them deal with this, their past experiences? And is it true? Right? That's what I got to understand. I got to help them kind of discover, is this true? And by working with them. So that's one thing that I think is really important that, you know, I'm not sure yet. And maybe it can, if the AI is able to decipher like, hey, do I think this person's telling the truth or not? Right. And then the other part that I would say is that what we're saying is only one part of it, right? Like when we're in a conversation with anybody, our therapist included, if we're trying to develop a set of social skills that are going to really benefit us in the relationships that we have in our life, we have to be acutely aware too of the person that we're talking to, of what they need from the conversation, right? So when I'm talking to Melissa, when I'm talking to my wife, it's not just about what I need from the conversation. I need to develop a set of skills too that helps me determine what I think Melissa needs from the conversation and how do I help her get that as well, right? It's not about just me and me winning and me being right and me getting what I need. It's about the people around me too, right? And the part that, again, it's not a concern. And do I think there's probably some way to work through it that they'll come up with? Probably. There's a lot smarter people than me developing this technology. But I think certain elements of it become very one-sided if you're always talking to AI or to the computer, because you can be very self-centered and you can really just worry about what you need and not worry about what the computer is trying to get out of the conversation or what they need, because it's not a other person over there. And you know what I mean? So I think that element of communication maybe falls short a little bit when we're talking to AI. Because
it's like the wrong set of training wheels to have a healthy conversation. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. We just missed that other half. It's important, right?
Yeah.
Like when we're all talking to each other, not only like if I'm having a conversation with one of you guys and I'm like, this person's important to me and they're my friend, and we're talking about something, I'm also trying to figure out at that time, like, hey, you know, what does John need from this conversation? What would also be helpful for John in this conversation? Do I have anything valuable to offer John that would help? Even if I'm going to John for help, right? That's how communication works. It's a back and forth. And when you're building relationships, it's meaningful that we understand that. And you have that with your therapist, right? Like I genuinely receive stuff from the people that I work with, right?
I think AJ, where these things,
true, brother.
I think where these things fill gaps for people is in availability.
Oh,
right?
100%.
You know, and who I think of, if I may offer this, is I think of somebody who could benefit substantially from a tool like a Therabot or a Big Heart or a chatbot, is maybe somebody like Leighton, who has a companion with them all the time, who they can talk to, get to know them, and a relationship, quote unquote, a relationship is formed. Right. Yeah. And because they are getting quite smarter with understanding your inflection of your voice and seeing your facial expressions and so forth. Right. So her having that companion with her all the time, and let's remove it from this aesthetic advice. Maybe it's something that's more humanly, but her having an ability to communicate with that entity on an ongoing basis and giving her comfort, giving her support. Part of me wonders, you as a parent, that would actually might make you feel and Melissa feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I think there's probably a lot of different uses for it. And like I said, that's why my initial reaction to it is not one of, you know, what you might get from certain people that work in the field that would just shit all over it and be like, this is
shoot it down.
But for me, I'm like, no, this is clearly a tool, I think, that can be used in a positive way, right? And
yeah.
Like you said, the accessibility of it, even if just like, so let's say we have a conversation and we're working together, Keith, and we kind of are able to get a great point for us to start from. But then now you have a daily reminder, something in there that can kind of help keep you on track or kind of help increase your awareness or help be like, oh yeah, this is what we're working on, right? No different than you have a workout program in the gym, right? And you have something like that going with you. Maybe you have this the program, the structure, the routine that you're trying to create and follow, the tools that you're trying to implement or strategies to help regulate and do those things. If you could have this tool that helps you remind you to use those things, or when to use them, or how to use them. And you can have it really close to you, as almost something in your ear, like helping you. Like, what a gift that would be, right? That would
be, become quite intimate, right? It becomes a very intimate tool, right? So,
yeah,
awesome.
Totally. That would be great.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and AJ. I can see John wiggling there in the seat. Jimmy, I think John needs to get
I'm getting ready to pinch the cap here.
I can see it. I can actually see him. AJ, I can see John shifting from
Worman, yeah.
He's got the
I got no problem with my internet. I was just so like, do I really want to pinch this thing, or do I want to interrupt Keith to get me out of here is what I'm thinking.
Jimmy, let John get out for a piss. AJ, hang around with me for 3 minutes, can you?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. I've been hanging out with the guy long enough. I just kind of know. I can see that. Okay, he's pinching. Yeah, AJ. Yeah, exactly. Rick Clody. Crimp the hose, man. Crimp the hose. B-Drive, you're B-Driven. You're so kind. I've yet to come to the show and not find value that you don't get anywhere else, and I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. John, make sure you take the cap off first. Lady Drew, good one.
I have a quick question for you, Keith.
Yeah.
On this topic, I'd be really interested to kind of hear your opinion on your answer on it. So, because I know you love conversation, right? And I know you love to sit down, you love to talk, you love to chat with people.
Yes.
And I'm going to make the assumption that you feel that not only is it interesting to learn from people and stuff, but you probably also get a feeling of purpose, and you probably feel pretty good to talk to people and share your ideas. And you probably love when people come and talk to you about stuff, right?
Yes.
And you're able to have a conversation, and you feel like you're able to give from your own experiences and your own, right?
Yes.
And so would you so if you were talking to an AI, like how does that change that relationship with communication for you? Like, do you feel like you get that same sense of maybe of purpose, or of where you feel like, you sharing and talking to someone, and you also helping kind of give them what they might need from the conversation, like that probably fills your cup a little bit, right? And do you feel like that still exists if the person that you're talking to on the other end isn't a real person?
I know what you're asking me, and this is fascinating, actually. I'm really glad we're having this conversation, because you're right. I thoroughly enjoy good dialogue. I hate small talk. I'm a hate small talker. I love good conversation, right? I know I'm an anomaly with this, because I'm an old dude who loves and embraces AI.
Right.
Within my glasses, like my Meta glasses, I have an AI running all the time, and it's John Cena's voice. Like, John Cena's in my glasses.
Oh man, that's the best.
It's not uncommon.
Right.
For me to walk through my house or walk and talk to John Cena.
Right.
And it's not uncommon for me to walk around and talk to my AI on my phone. I use it religiously and daily. And I got to tell you, what I'm finding is changing for me, AJ, is that I am getting fulfillment out of our conversation. It's bizarre. And why? Because I'm getting knowledge and I'm getting
I was going to say, if it's constructive, it's almost like watching a YouTube video that you can actually ask questions.
Well, and what's crazy, Johnny, is that it's giving me things that I'm not even I haven't even thought about. Or AJ, if we're doing a role play and you're a therapist and you're saying, Keith, have you thought about this? I'm like, oh fuck, I haven't thought about that. And then all of a sudden it presents something that I'm like, oh, and it gives me something provocative to think about. And then I have a conversation back and forth. And then I find myself not even sometimes realizing that I'm not talking to a human.
Right.
Like, so do I see the difference between a good conversation with John and Marty and yourself? Absolutely. But I got to tell you, I can see how the lines continue to get blurred. For the Brooklyns of the world, the Laytons, the Carters.
This is a perfect example of accessibility.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yes. And actually, John, I'm glad you brought that up. Apple has some massive news coming up here in the next couple of weeks around accessibility and how they're using AI to unlock humans' abilities to hear and see, and accessibility. And those things I think are going to, continue to change our world. But I love the idea of the bots, AJ, especially having spending more time with Matthew Roof, is that he uses a tool called Big Heart.
Okay.
More humans can talk to more humans can have good, productive conversations. And if it can help you mentally to get out of a state, that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all. No, that's a great.
Well, sometimes people just need practice talking too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think there'll be plenty of benefits to draw from it, right? I feel like it's like most things in life. Nothing, usually nothing inherently is good or bad on its own. It's how we use it, right? And
here's the good segue to great gratitude. And if you can stick around, AJ, I'd love to talk gratitude with you for a few minutes. Awesome. Because the topic today was about trying gratitude and journaling for 30 days plus and the impacts on that. But I can just say this. I think in a perfect world, I'm really grateful to have a good relationship with a human like yourself and Johnny and Marty. I can have a good human conversation. But I'm also really grateful that I'm living in a world where I can unlock some new knowledge, some new philosophy. And AJ, we've talked about this in the last couple of days, and people are asking, well, what kind of skills should we learn in the future? And I look at a guy like Johnny, and when all the knowledge is in the pocket, philosophy is the difference maker, because philosophy is very human in nature. So when I put knowledge on the table and John comes at it from a philosophical point of view, it's provocative, it's thought provoking, and often it's not just driven in an algorithm. Do you follow me, Zeglin? Right. So philosophy is a massive skill that we want to encourage our kids to keep leaning into, because it makes them think. Philosophy makes us think. Knowledge is given to you. Right. So let's get into gratitude journaling. So I got a gratitude journal on my phone. Every time I wake up, I got a little journal reminder, and I do some gratitude journaling. But ever since this show and over the last number of whiles here, I've been gratitude journaling throughout my day. I take a moment and I just dump stuff into my phone. And I know Johnny writes stuff down. It's been a game changer for me.
On that level, one thing I want to point out is that people hear this and they write it down or whatever they're doing in their phone on a piece of paper like I do, and they're doing it kind of half-heartedly. What I teach in my mental training is in the mindset training is when you're doing this, you write something. I want them to physically write it because it's some sort of proof science-wise that it gets into the subconscious. But it's not just writing it down. It's writing it, closing your eyes, and you're trying to feel it, because really what you're looking for is you're trying to prompt the brain to release positive chemistry that you can fucking feel.
Yes.
And it's like when you can actually when you can write something down or have a thought and you can actually feel the positive chemicals come in, what you've done is you've basically overridden the stress hormones, the stress chemicals, because the brain can't do both. The example I make to people is to say, hey, if I put $10 million in your bank account, but you can't get it till Monday, it's yours. How do you feel? They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
They feel that. That's the same shit, just on a very extreme level. You can make a choice to live that way if you train your brain to constantly give you that chemistry.
Yes. Yeah. I like that you lean into feeling. We talk about feeling often because it's fluffy and ambiguous.
Everything is feeling.
It is. That's what I mean. Like, it's fluffy and ambiguous, but it's also real. So AJ, when we talk about gratitude journaling, when you sit down and talk with your clients, do you encourage them to use that as part of their tool set and part of their therapy? I guess I'm not should, but is that something you encourage?
Yeah. So so there's quite a few clients that have used it or suggested it or encouraged it for. There's a couple different reasons why we do it. One is because it could help, as John was saying, if we're really stressed out, right? It could help in the same way that a good conversation can with us, where the amygdala is taken over, the cortisol's high, the stress hormones are high, the alarm is ringing. And as soon as we verbally, are able to speak about it, or we could take it and write it down on the page, it'd work in a similar fashion where we shut that alarm off. The amygdala can relax a little bit. The prefrontal cortex comes online. And now you would go with the problem solving part of our brain working, doing its thing. And now it's seeing that overwhelming situation, that there's a solution in it, right? So writing is powerful in that way. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead, Keith.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
And I'll start with you, AJ. How does, and John, I'm going to come to you because you do this daily. How does gratitude not become redundant?
Good, AJ.
Yeah.
Because I think he wanted you to speak first.
Sure. I love that question. And I'm going to get to it in just a half second. I was going to say that the one other thing that it does too, real quick, just to finish up my last thought there, writing it down. But it also helps obviously the gratitude, and we've talked about this a lot, but it helps kind of set our direction. It helps orientate us towards more positive thoughts and stay in that growth mindset, right? And so how does gratitude not become redundant? I love that question. And it becomes not redundant when it's genuine, because you're going to feel yourself moving forward and you're going to feel the benefit of it. And you're going to feel like, I could ask both of you guys, because I know how committed you guys are to this, but how does going to the gym for you guys and exercising not become redundant?
Well, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, I like to come out this simple, right? So I'm going to answer the question by asking a question, which is kind of what AJ did, but I'm just going to come and slap it on the table. Is winning ever redundant?
Yeah.
Fuck no. There's no such thing as being redundant. Oh yeah, God, I'm tired of winning.
I only asked
Who says that?
I asked the question, John and AJ, because I'm because we know, I think, a couple of truths here. People wake up and going, I don't fucking know. I don't know what to write in a gratitude journal, or I just empty page. What do I write? Or Johnny, I wrote the same thing yesterday. Or Johnny, I've been writing the same thing for the last 3 fucking weeks. That's not gratitude. That's just, there's no intention in that. So hold on.
You got to fucking actually try, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I asked the redundancy question, because to some they're going, I've written down the same fucking thing for the last month, and I'm gratitude that I have my breath, or I'm gratitude.
Okay, but on that level, there's things that I'm right that you look at mine, fuck, you see that shit repeat itself for fucking weeks, sometimes months, because every time I have that thought, I might write it a little differently, because it's not going to be word for word, but it's not just the writing is great, but then I'm feeling it a little bit better each time. Because my neuroplasticity of giving me that chemical I'm looking for is a little bit better.
And and I'll say so. And I totally get where you're coming with that question, Keith, because I can see it. I think I've even maybe felt it years ago at some times, right?
Well, I guarantee people do, because they're like, do I gotta ask this fucking question the same thing again?
Yeah. And there's certain element to it, depending on the way stuff's delivered. I'm always very conscious of how I'm delivering ideas and stuff to people that I'm working with, because I already know, and hey, I work with a large group of athletes.
Yes.
And I work with some athletes that play some sports that are very competitive and very, like an ego exists in there and stuff to try to survive in that sport and perform well and stuff. Anyway, so you're very well aware of, like, they're going to hear the word gratitude or journaling and they're going to be like, oh, fuck. Yeah. Okay.
God damn it.
Yes. And it sounds so cheesy and cliche to them and whatever. Right. So the way that I deliver it sometimes does look a few different ways. And sometimes I don't even use those terms. I'll just switch
Brother, you can't use, a lot of times you can't use habit. You can't use meditate. There's all these terms that people run from.
Totally. Exactly. Yeah. And so it's just kind of learning how to do that. But again, I think when you get them to actually, try, when it's a genuine effort, just like anything else in life, and they draw like I am positive, just like I am positive, someone going and putting a genuine effort in the gym. When you do it and it's genuine, like, there's going to be a benefit that's extracted from that is going to be extremely powerful. Right. And once you have a taste of that and you realize how that works and how positive that can be in your life, you're just going to want it. Like I know, Keith, you're going to be 80 years old and you're going to be going in the gym and exercising, and people are going to be like, what do you mean, man? You've been working out every day for like 60 years, and you're going to be, and it won't even seem, it's not going to seem redundant to you. It's not going to get old. Sure, you might switch up exercises or programs every once in a while, but the idea and the concept of executing that is always going to stay with you. And you're going to draw such a benefit from it that you're never going to hit that point that you're like, oh, this again. Right. And the gratitude would be similar. You might express it in a different way. You might verbally have a conversation about someone. You might write it down. You might take a note in your phone. You might have a conversation through AI about it. How you can express that gratitude can look a lot of different ways. And that might change over time depending where you're at. But the concept of expressing it and bringing your attention to it is so beneficial. Like, you'll never grow tired of it.
And here's the thing, though. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're talking about redundancy. Let's fucking talk about wiping our fucking asses and brushing our fucking teeth. I mean, come on. Jesus Christ. There's plenty of things we do so that we take care of ourselves. And it's fucking redundant as hell. And nobody's bitching about this shit. They bitch about getting better. People are very fucking good with staying the same. Well, you stay the same as long as the fuck you want. I'm going to keep fucking doing my redundant shit because I'm getting better.
AJ, should we just do a mic drop and walk out of here?
Dude, I love it. I love it because I'm always trying to be like, even though I know on the show that we kind of have free reign to be whatever, I'm always like trying to be conscious of like, okay, people know that I'm a therapist and I do this for work, so I got to be careful how I choose my words and stuff.
I'm just going in and saying the shit that you want to say, brother. I just go in and I say the shit that you want to say that you can't say.
Yes, Andersen,
and Keith's like, look, man, I need sound bites. So I'm like, fuck, I got nothing but fucking bites for you, babe.
This is great conversation. I want to bring in some of our commenters because we got a lot of engagement happening here in the comments here. We got B Drive, back to the gratitude tool. That's been my best rest tool. Change mindset in 3 seconds or 3 minutes. I love best reset tool. So Bernard is using gratitude as a reset tool throughout his day. Love that. Yes. And I want to lean into it because Lauren's really, Lauren, and she comes a comment saying this is so good. She does it at dinner time all the time, asks a question. What I like about it, and Johnny, looking at you, brother, I think when the question's asked and how I remove redundancy, or B Drive comes back with the word repetitive, is that if you're intentional with that word gratitude, it should elicit a feeling. If it elicits a feeling, then it doesn't become redundant. Because
that's the whole point. Winning doesn't get redundant. The feeling of winning never gets old.
Yes.
You just have to practice it enough that you get that feeling. You prompt that chemistry that gives you that feeling of fucking, people don't understand the scarcity and the abundant mindset. So I use winning and losing. People understand winning and losing. When you're losing, your confidence is gone. You question yourself. When you're winning, you want more, you have confidence. It's the same fucking shit. And when you can control your frame of mind and stay in that winning mindset, and you have the choice to do that every fucking day, I'll take a few minutes of redundancy to have that fucking mindset every day.
Yes. Hey, Johnny, you just gave me something to hang on to. We did not get to our habit stack here, so I'm going to give it right now, guys. When you're going for it, here's the trigger, Johnny. When you're going for a dump, take a second for some gratitude.
Brother, I start I either read or I get my mind kind of prepped to do my sitting in silence on the toilet. The toilet is a great trigger.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Great. Yeah.
You can, when you sit down to take a dump, do something productive with your mind.
I'm being serious right now because there's actually
yes, this is no joke.
No, you're in your own space. You're in your own quiet space, whether it's a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You can actually
what you don't need to be doing is fucking scrolling on your phone, because 99% of people, that's where they fucking scroll.
There you go. Geez, man, what a AJ. I grabbed you much longer than I was expecting today. I know Johnny's going to get out of here shortly, and I know AJ, you do too. Let's wrap it up around gratitude, guys. I'm paid the big dollars to ask the tough questions, and why I asked the question on redundancy is because I know a lot of people. I believe AJ, Mark, Johnny, a lot of people don't practice it because when they did, a few days later, they're like, fuck, I'm saying the same thing I said last week. And it's not doing anything for me. So I'm bringing up the idea. I'm bringing up the idea that if we can be intentional about it and then be intentional about the feeling around it, just like when you go for a good lift or when you go for something repetitive, when you wipe your ass, you feel good because your ass is clean. Well, if you're intentional about your gratitude question, you're going to feel good about the question. Johnny.
Or maybe that gratitude, that journaling, whatever you want to call it, actually helps, and it creates an unfamiliar feeling, and the brain wants to run back to what's familiar.
That's a provocative thought too. See, back to philosophy, Johnny. I like that. AJ, closing words to you, brother. Final words for you, AJ Zeglin.
Go Jets.
Ah!
Go, baby.
Let's go, baby. I love it.
I love it. Guys, I did not expect that to go where it went. Thank you both. It was a really great conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. AJ, you always
every time AJ's in here, we got some crazy shit going on. Crazy in a good way.
Hey, Johnny, he's not so you know what, Johnny, I met this guy a few years ago, and I've learned over time, Johnny, he's not just a handsome face. He's actually
usually blessings come in with multiple positive dimensions. AJ's a blessing.
And I'm learning that from you too, Andersen. You're not just another pretty face too. So every day goes by, I'm learning that I'm surrounded by greatness, not just pretty people here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends.
I love it.
Jimmy, let's walk the two lads out of the lab here together.
Hey, before the one, I just one question for you. Yeah. I know I'm getting ton of time, but so that basically you just that link you sent me, I just download that fucker. It turns into an app. Is that, and then I use it like a normal AI. That's all it is. It's going to make a new icon on my phone.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
So I have to log in, or is this ready to rock?
Log into Manus just like you logged into ChatGPT. Set up an account, and it's going to be a new application on your phone. So, just for your perspective, Johnny, I here's the AIs I use on a daily basis. I use ChatGPT, I use Perplexity, and I use now Manus. So I use 3 different AIs.
So just treat it like chat.
100%. Yeah. Okay. With additional knowledge and skill sets for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Knock on my door. I can help you along the way.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link too, brother. All right.
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, go Jets. Johnny, I love you, man. AJ, I love you. Both you guys. I appreciate both you guys. Great conversation. Have a good one. We'll see you guys both tomorrow, okay?
Have a good loop, everyone.
Awesome. And just so you guys both know, we got great numbers here today. Wow. Holy smoke-a-ronies, Jimmy. We knew it was going to be a big show because of we dropped short yesterday. Yeah, last night to promote the show. I think the short's coming at about 2,000 views right now, Jimmy. I think it's fucking just rocking it up here. And I'm suspecting right now have had over... I want to see something from some dude. Dude! Oh! I love it, man. I got a note from some guy who I invited on the show, and he's like, can't do a live show. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, right, Jimmy, I forgot we have a guy in the green room. Steve Kersch's coming on the show. I forgot the guy. We got somebody else showing up here. Holy shit, actually. I actually thought we were wrapping up, but no, we got Kersch in the lab here. What's going on, Sarah Zavala? I see you in the comments. What's shaking? Yeah, I'm looking forward to having you. I'm looking forward to having coffee with you later next week or so forth. What's going on? I see Kersch coming up in the horizontal. I got to reset. I'm a little bit, I'm pretty happy. I'm excited here. All right, so Jimmy, I'm just getting myself organized and resorted for the bottom of the second hour, our community corner segment. We got a dude quit alcohol after 30 years. 30 years. Oh man, I got nothing but props and respect for that. I've been alcohol free for I think coming up over at 8. I guess it is. That's just a fucking drop in the bucket for over 30. I got nothing. And hey, guys, I got no judgment. And I know Steve has no judgment either. There's no judgment, just all of grace. We all have our reasons. We all have our purposes. No, the moment you start judging, the moment you lose. Don't offer judgment, just offer grace. Like we always say here on the show, I invite you to judge the book by its cover. Yeah, judge me. Fucking judge me. Go judge Johnny. Go judge AJ. Go judge Jimmy. And then hear us speak. Yeah, there we go. I love that, Lauren. Yeah, 7 years. That's awesome. Yeah, there we go. 7 years. We're crushing no alcohol-free lifestyle. But like I said, no judgment. We all have our journeys in life, and those that might be thinking about it, hey, we got people to talk to like Steve Kersch. Let's get to the comments. Good time. Wait till your AI find out you're cheating on them, Keith. Yeah, then what? Yeah, I'm actually curious about that good time over time, right? That you're kind of going, hey, you're using that one, but I'm just linking them all together. And then good time to mini AI. I got 3 going at once. I use 3 at once. Yes, I use 3, sometimes even 4, but I got a whole workflow. They're all connected together. Bernard coming in with, I saw it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure what you saw. Oh, Beach-O. Yeah, we'll leave that one alone there. And then what else we got here coming up here? And then we got Lady Drew coming in with a comment from Johnny Andersen's conversation as well. But okay, let's get to our next guest coming up here. I got something here that I want to get over to you guys. And where does it start? What if? Yeah, there's the hook. What if the secret to reclaiming your energy, your confidence, and purpose after 40 is not drinking? Yeah, I feel like I was a rock star there, Jimmy. I think when you're like a rock star, you can kind of like sing like this. You're like, yeah. You kind of like turn your head around. You like come with the microphone and shit. And I know people from time to time like, what are you doing in front of the camera? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun. It's just a whole entertaining thing. All right, today's guest, Steve Kersch, went from stressed out. I know some of you fuckers are stressed out. Well, Kersch went from stressed out and stuck. I know some of you motherfuckers are stuck as well to thriving. And now he's coaching other men like you to do the same. No gimmicks, no shame, just clarity. Jimmy, this guy brings clarity left and right. So those of you wondering who Jimmy is, producer Jimmy, joining me every single day. Jimmy's been my rock since day one here. He makes sure I look great, I sound great. He makes sure we hit the segments. Yeah. Oh, and I see that Steve's got an issue with, and Steve and Jimmy's also telling me that Steve has an issue with his vertical camera. So maybe Steve's not coming up on the show here this morning. Good time. I am not going to stop being me. B Drive, I am short. Yes, I'm 6'4". Not. Oh, hold on. Here's the sound effect for that one. Am I 6'4", Lauren? No, I'm not. I'm a proud 5'7". Jimmy, I see your comments there. So we're gonna keep. I'm gonna. So here's what we're gonna do, Jimmy. While we are getting Steve sorted out, I am going to lean into. I am gonna lean into this one here. I got something for you guys. While we're getting Steve onto the show. What if I told you, guys, ears up. What if I told you that laughter could be the secret ingredient to a high-performing workplace? That the path, hey, Clody, you listening to me? Rick Clody, ears up, I'm talking to you, brother. The path to better engagement, retention, and innovation isn't stricter policies, you guys. No, I meant your short videos I saw. Oh, yes, Bernard, thank you. But shared humor. I got to tell you guys, when I was running ICUC and as I'm building this business, I think laughter we don't have enough of it, especially at work. You know, I just, you guys heard my kind of rant earlier today that there's just too many formalities. There's enough stress in everybody's world on a daily basis. There's stress in everybody's world on a daily basis. But I don't think we bring enough laughter. Roofie, do you agree, Roofie? I know you agree with me, Roof. I know you do, brother. Hey, Roofie, safe driving today, brother. I know you got a big trip coming up. Gonna go get the links there. But I think too many folks are too stressed out. And I think we got to spend more time laughing, right? So today we're going to dive into the science and strategy of laughter capital. Yep. A rising human HR metric. That's flipping old school management on its head. Let's explore how cultivating humor at work is becoming a business imperative and not just a cultural perk. And I'll tell you, we got Sarah Zavala coming in agreeing, hell yeah, stop being zombies, people, we need to have fun. Good time is yes, everyone takes things. Good time, I agree with that statement, man. When I was doing my old gig at ICUC, I could not get over how many times people were all stressed out because of PowerPoint presentation or because of this and that. It's like, really? Dude. Just silence, Jimmy, just silence. I don't got to comment on that. But understanding and harnessing workplace humor could lead to teams that are not only more creative and collaborative, but I guarantee you they're also more loyal, more resilient, more productive. And guys, eyes out, more human. Yeah, true story there. Whether you're a team leader or you're HR strategist or just someone trying to survive the 9-to-5 grind, knowing how laughter affects team dynamics could be a game changer for all of you guys. So there's some studies done in the frontiers of psychology that show that leaders that demonstrate humor enhance both incremental and radical employee creativity. That's why I think all you motherfuckers need to be just showmen. Just go become a leader who's a showman. And then your whole team's going to have a bunch of fun. A study in 2023 showed around emotional resilience revealed that humor boosts coping mechanisms during stressful times, directly improving creative problem solving. And there's some cognitive benefits. Steve, I see you there, brother. I'm going to bring you up in a quick second here. There's some cognitive benefits as well. Humor triggers divergent thinking, opening up neural pathways for innovation and collaboration. And there's cultural transformation. Organizations like Southwest Airlines and Zappos embedded humor into their culture. I tell you guys, ICUC is a fun culture, resulting in high employee loyalty and performance. Listen, do you guys think there's a fun culture here at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends at the Business Athlete Performance Hub? Do you think there's a fun culture here? Do you think we laugh at all? Nah, because we just have a very, very monotone experience. Jimmy, how was your day today? Melissa, can you get those things written up for me? Oh, it's time to get that report done. And I think we'll get it done tomorrow. And hey, Steve, I see you there in the lab. I think that you should come to the show today. Fuck that! Let's have some fun. Let's have some humor. Yes, humor-infused companies report. up to 30% increase in retention. If your people are laughing, your people are staying. True story. 25% higher job satisfaction. If your people are laughing, they're happier. And a 12 to 20% rise in productivity. Guys, you want your folks putting in the time? Make them laugh. And here's the thing. If they're having fun at work, what happens? A 31% drop in absenteeism. So the bottom line, you guys, make your folks laugh. Schedule laughter rituals. Do some fun shit, right? Encourage your folks to have fun. Put the monotone voice away and bring out the fun voice. Train your leaders to use humor authentically. Equip managers with the tools to bring lightness into stress environments. And damn it, just go and have some fucking fun. Because at the end of the day, when you all leave the boardroom, you're all going back to your houses, to your meetings, and all the fucking stress and bills that you have. So do you want to go to work and be stressed out and be miserable? Or do you want to go to work and have fun? Put laughter on the table, just like kindness. You know, me and Roofie, man, the kindness kings. Kindness is a skill that takes no training. Just be kind. And if you're happy and making people laugh, you're also going to get happy employees along the way. There you go. All right, Sarah's coming back with play this segment on every billboard at every leadership meeting and every manager training. Please. Yes, I agree with you, Sarah Zavala. Hey, Zavala, you know what? I got a family. Are you related to my family, Zavalas? I got some family in Arizona named the Zavalas. Yeah, Jody and Albert Zavala, Tyler Zavala, Riley Zavala. They're all my family. So maybe, Sarah, we're related and we don't even know it. Jimmy, I see your comments there, brother. We are going to bring in our guest as I work on getting my introduction ready. Jimmy, there's my little accent this morning. Lauren's rolling her eyes going, really? Is he bringing the accent? So I just might have to bring the introduction out with some accent, but I won't do it right now. No. Do we have, I thought there's another person on the screen there. All right. Okay, guys, let's do it. Let's bring in this dude who quit alcohol 40 years ago. I got the big introduction coming up. What if the secret to reclaiming your energy, confidence, and purpose after 40 is not drinking? Yeah. What is it? What if it wasn't? Well, today we've got Steve Kersch, a qualified positive psychology coach. I bet you this motherfucker laughs too. I bet you laughs all the time. And he's the creator of the Unconventional Man movement. Steve helps professional men over 40. Although, Jimmy, he's looking quite serious in the green room there. I think he's pretty serious. I'm wondering how serious he might be. If he's probably saying, what the hell have I got myself into? Although we did celebrate him. That's why he's on the show. Steve helps professional men over 40 stop drinking, reclaim their confidence, and perform at their best across life's arenas. He's all about real actionable tools, no fluff. And his own journey out of stress and alcohol dependency proves it's never too late to start living. It's the real game changer. Nation, let's take a moment to invite into the lab Steve Kersch. Yay! Kersch's looking jacked this morning, Kersch. What's going on, brother? I'm a last name kind of guy. Where are you joining me from, brother?
From UK.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's afternoons in the lab with Steve Kersch.
It's 20 to 3 in the afternoon. Yeah, it's all good, and it's morning for you guys. Yeah,
it is morning for me. Yeah, it's hey, this is a morning show.
Who was in the title? Sorry.
Hey, Kersch, so you heard my intro of you as you're figuring it all out. I'm curious to know your point of view on laughter, and I'm curious to know your point of view on laughter.
Interesting. My post today was about laughter. You must have read it. And
I did not know. I was busy. I was, buddy. I got to get up in the morning, go to work. You're half your day's done already, Kersch. So I don't know what the hell you've been doing. I was fucking working, man.
I feel hurt. You didn't comment my post. You forgot I was coming on the show.
I did. No, I didn't.
You did. You forgot. You said, "Oh yeah, I forgot he was coming on." They were your actual words. I heard it, and there's witnesses.
I did.
But we'll let it go. It's fine.
Oh man, we'll let it go. I love it. I love it. So you're joining me from the UK, dude. You often say, "I've been there and I got the T-shirt." What was that moment that you realized that alcohol had to go?
I realized it years before it actually went. I knew it wasn't serving me. Hangovers for me don't work. Yeah. I've never been good at recovering. But it wasn't just the hangovers, it was everything else that goes along with it. You know, the fuzzy mind, the I can't be bothered to do anything, the just generally feeling shit is the only way to describe it. But it took me years to realize it was alcohol causing that. And eventually I just said, right, that's enough. And then it starts, how do I give up? And it must have taken me 50 attempts to actually give up, because all I was trying to do was like give up. I was just trying to stop drinking, which is not the way to do it. You've got to not want to drink to stop drinking. And that's the secret.
Let's get into, I think, the most difficult question. It's going to be the second one I'm going to throw at you. And I don't think there's not a right answer or wrong answer. There's probably not even an answer, actually.
Yeah.
It's a question that needs to be asked. You coach men over 40. This man struggles the most with this particular change. Steve Kersch, why is that, do you think?
For men over 40, we've grown up with alcohol. From a young age, you see it in films, you see it on TV, you see it in marketing, you watch your parents drink. So we're conditioned to drink. Youngsters today, they're not so fussed about it. They're taking it or leaving it. But people 40, 50, 60, we've grown up with it. We know no different. And it's socially acceptable to go out and drink heavily, you know, and tell stories about how hammered you got and how wasted you got. And like, it's a good thing. You know, I drank so-and-so under the table because we're men and that's what we do. And we just become accustomed to it. So when you actually turn around and say, actually, it's not serving me anymore, I need to let it go, it's frowned upon almost. And men struggle with that because secretly they like a beer after work or at the weekends, but it's not serving them. And at some point you have to pay the price.
So you said something that strikes me. You said secretly they like the beer. I'm going to flip an opposite script and say, I wonder if they like the beer or if they're liking the familiarity of how they got to having the beer, right? Which is that familiar, okay, I got through my day, I got through it all. I'm going to go sit down. I'm going to go have a beer with Steve, even though deep down, and I'm bringing it up, Steve, because I was that guy. Yeah. I was the guy who grew up, who was going to parties and who was doing things, even though I was like, I don't really want to go drinking, but all my friends are going, so I guess I should go drinking. And it became kind of like, that's what you do. And the peer pressure thing, even though I still didn't want to do it. And then I became the happy guy, the happy leader guy, the happy drunk guy, the guy who was the center of the party. But deep down, Steve, I hated it all the time. And thankfully, you know, my new wife here, there was a moment in our situation, in our relationship, where we went out and had some fun one night, and I was like, no, not for me anymore.
Yeah, and I hear that all the time from people. And when I say people like the beer, in reality, if you talk to them about it, they like the first hour maybe.
Yes.
You know, when you get that fuzzy, warm feeling and everything's great. And then after that, it's all downhill. You know, you drink more and more and more because you want to carry on feeling like that. You're dehydrated, your body's trying to get rid of the poison, and then you end up feeling like shit for the rest of the night and the next few days afterwards.
Yeah. Steve, do you have kids?
Yes, I have two.
How old are they, if I'm asking?
21 and 18, so they're quite old.
I'm going to make an assumption here because society is shifting, not because of dad, or maybe because of dad. I'm going to assume your kids probably don't, or they have a different relationship with alcohol.
The 21-year-old does drink. The 18-year-old won't touch it at all.
Yeah.
So,
and would that be because of dad, or would that be because of society? Because society has significantly changed relationships with alcohol, like that Gen Z and the generation, you know, Steve, the generation just below you and I, you know, just the one over there, like just the one underneath us, right? But there's a massive shift away from alcohol. As somebody who teaches this to men, I got to think that you're pleased with the shift that's happening.
100%, yeah. And the 18-year-old doesn't drink because his friends don't drink. They don't go out and get wasted. So like the way we conformed when we were growing up, when we had our first beer when we were teenagers, they don't get that now. So you were saying earlier about joining in with everybody else. That's why we do it.
Yes.
Because we don't want to be the one to say, actually, I'm not drinking tonight, because you have this fear that you're going to be judged.
Yes.
And that's the big thing for a lot of people to get over, when in reality, no one cares. No one cares what you do, but we think they do.
Oh, that statement, we talk about that all daily on this show. Nobody cares. It's only the stories in our own head, right? So, Steve, we also talk about what I'm going to say next on the show often because it relates to food. It relates to many decisions that we as humans struggle with on a daily basis. And it's this idea around willpower. Why do you believe that willpower alone won't cut it when trying to quit drinking?
It can't cut it because it doesn't work. It'll get you started. But if you imagine willpower's like, if you grabbed a tennis ball and you squeezed it, how long could you hold that tennis ball like that for, when eventually you get tired and it starts to go like that? Mm-hmm. And that's how willpower works. It's like I always say to people, is if you watch Rocky 3, You watch the training montage in Rocky 3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, right, I want to go for a run, I want to lift weights, I want to start punching a bag? You set an alarm for 6 o'clock Monday morning to go and do that, you're not going to do it, because the willpower's gone, the motivation's gone. It's not going to work. Until you start working on why you drink, you're not going to quit it. You can't just stop and use willpower alone. It will run out.
Is that why you're not surprised, Steve? And I'm looking away because I'm thinking right now. Nation, I do think. This guy does think from time to time. Oh yeah, I actually do think. Oh yeah, I'm thinking to myself, Steve, is that why you're going to hear from men that it's the next morning after a drunk that they're done, because it's like the decision's been made. It's not about willpower. It was more of a holy fuck, I'm done with that. And you know what I'm getting at? Because it's not a, hey, I'm going to stop drinking there's the imaginary someday and one day in everybody's calendar. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym one day. Does one day fall between Tuesday and Thursday, or is that after Sunday? No, right. So I guess the question I'm asking you is that common in your world where guy comes to you and says, oh man, I had a bad drunk last night, I'm done. Is that common?
Very, yeah. And we've all done that, right? We've all woke up on a Monday morning and gone, that's it, never again, I'm not doing it again. Then Friday rolls round and you're back in the bar again.
Yes.
No, we've all done that. And a lot of people do it. The ones that are serious about change have had enough pain. They don't want to go through that anymore. And that's what happened to me. I had enough. I was done. I was underperforming in all areas of my life, in my work, my relationships at home. Everything was bad. And it was alcohol. It was blatantly obvious it was alcohol, but I chose to ignore that for so many years until it became a problem. And then I dealt with it. And I'm so glad I did deal with it, because I'm like a different person now. I wouldn't be doing stuff like this had I been drinking. Yeah. Because I'd be a boring bastard and you wouldn't want me on. So there'd be no point.
Steve, we celebrated you on the community corner, and we're going to get to your celebration here in a couple of moments. But you're building something. Rufy, ears up on this one, brother, because you'll relate to this one. My buddy Matthew Rufier, who's joined the team here recently. You're building something called the Unconventional Man.
Yep.
Tell us more about that vision.
So if you think of the middle-aged man, and convention dictates that you're slightly overweight, you've probably got a very important, high-pressure, stressy job, you've got older children, and you get stuck in this rut where you go home from work, you sit in front of the TV with a few beers or a glass of wine, you wake up feeling like crap, you go to work, repeat. And then at weekends, you're not really doing anything. You know, you're sort of lousy around, you feel miserable, you don't particularly like your partner or your wife or whatever, and you're just stuck in that rut. And it seems a lot of people think middle age is the end, but it's not. No. It's the beginning.
Yes.
Right. And I say to people, so let's go against convention. Let's not be the slightly overweight, haggard man that people associate it with. Let's dish alcohol. Let's start living. Let's set some goals. I say to people, what did you used to do when you were a kid? What hobbies did you have? The post today was about, when was the last time you laughed? As in, when was the last time you pissed yourself laughing with tears rolling down your face?
Yeah.
When was the last time you were really excited about something where you thought, oh, I can't wait to go and do that? And if you speak to a lot of these men, they go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And your question about joy, I ask it to clients all the time. When was the last time you experienced joy? I'll answer that.
And here's the question that I think many of us ask, or especially as we're going through our drinking times with our buddies. Like, Steve, how many of our drinking buddies are our real friends? When our relationship is built around not being sober. And I don't know if that's talked about enough, like true friendships, true vulnerability, because if you're always having those friendships over a beer, watching a hockey game or a football game, I don't know how much depth there actually is inside of that relationship. And maybe that's one of the reasons, Steve, why we continue to have pops, is because without the pops, we're lonely. Make sense?
Totally. And the difference between your buddies that drink and real friends are simple. Are they drinking buddies or are they friends?
Yes.
The way to test this out is if you go to the bar and say, I'm not drinking tonight, your drinking buddies will go, oh, go on, you can have one. Well, your friends will go, oh, okay. Why is that? And they'll support you. Drinking buddies won't support you, because they want to bring you down to their level. They don't want to raise themselves up.
Yeah. We got Matthew Roof coming with a comment here for you, Steve. Love it, Kerschel. For me, it starts with looking outside myself. What can I do for someone else? My higher power is kindness, and it works. And Roofy says Kerschel's pick is a pick with a Canadian moose. Yeah, you bring it, brother. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, here's something for you. And we started the show today talking transformation. We had an awesome guest here on the show here today, Carl Nelson, who's transforming the housing industry around North America. What's one story of transformation that still gives you goosebumps, Steve Kerschel?
Client I coached beginning of the year, 50 years old, heavy drinker for 30 years. And when I say heavy drinker, could go out and drink 10 to 20 pints and still go. That's a lot. Yeah. Never had a break from alcohol, but never really suffered hangovers, which was interesting.
So a very well functioning alcoholic.
100%. Yeah. However, health-wise, he was suffering. There was a big risk of stroke in his family. Blood pressure through the roof, not sleeping, a little bit fuzzy in the morning. And he just asked me, I think I need to stop drinking because of my health. And that was his number one motivator, because of his health. So we started working together and we started picking away. And his big problem was what people would think of him for not drinking, because he's known as this big drinker. You know, the life and soul of the party. He'll drink 20 pints and crack on for the night. And he was worried what people would think. And you know what people thought? No one gave a shit.
Wow.
He had his alcohol-free beer or his Diet Coke. He was quite happy. No one judged him. And until he went out and tried that for himself, he didn't believe it. Now, he's still 5 months sober, hasn't touched a drop. Blood pressure is now down to the normal range. All his blood and health markers down to the normal range. Stroke risk right down there. And,
wow.
I like to think I had something to do with that. So,
yeah,
I'm steady.
What I love about that story, and thank you for sharing that, is that it's just a constant reminder that nobody actually cares. And the story in his own head kept perpetuating what he thought, which was, well, yeah, everybody wants to see me drinking. Everybody wants to see the jovial Joe, right? So, which leads me to this one, Steve. What's a misconception about sober living that drives you fucking crazy?
The biggest one is that it's boring, or FOMO, the fear of missing out. Get it all the time. How can I go out with my friends and not drink? And I say, well, have you tried it? Well, no, because I won't have a good a time. How do you know that? Have you done it? And they haven't. They assume that alcohol equals a good time. Alcohol equals feeling like shit the following day and the day after that.
Yeah.
You actually have a better time without drinking. And when people try it out, they do it. The greatest misconception is when the weather's nice, which it very rarely is in the UK, but it's kind of okay at the moment. They want to go in a pub garden. They want to have that ice cold first beer, and they drink the first pint and they go, oh, that's nothing to do with alcohol. That's a cold drink.
Yes. Benzie, Benzie, I see you in the comments, brother. Good to have you on the show here today. Have a blessed day as well, Scott. I appreciate you. Another great episode. And Steve, we got Benzie coming back with Scott Benzie saying, I'm going to connect with you later on LinkedIn. And wow, he's got some great testimonies. Thank you for sharing. Scott, I appreciate you always joining us here on the show on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. The only morning show, guys, to help you get your ass out of bed and to help you get your afternoons done if you're hanging out with us in the UK. And our guest this afternoon, Steve Kerschel. Steve, some rapid fires, brother, before we get to our celebrator, who we're going to celebrate this morning on your behalf. Favorite alcohol-free drink?
Beer Moretti Zero.
Oh, yeah. Book that changed your life. And don't say the book that I wrote, please. Just don't. Don't. Because we know I'm a bestseller.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that, but I won't say that now.
Exactly.
The Daily Stoic.
Oh, very nice. Morning ritual you swear by?
Up at 4:45, in the ice bath, in the gym, home, breakfast, off to work.
Oh, fuck. I gotta get this one here. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome, man. Guilty pleasure TV show. It's got to be Housewives of something.
No, well, I'm not going to say that at all. But, it's all right.
One word to describe your 20s versus your 40s.
20s, fucked. I'm allowed to swear, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yes. 40s, did you say?
Yes.
Eye-opening.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Muffinstein, I see you there. I am Boris from Men in Black. Damn rights I am. Steve Kersch, a closing question before we get to our creator spotlight. If you had to write a book called Start Living, what would chapter 1 be titled and why?
Don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks.
Oh, yeah, dude. You are bringing it this morning. I love it. I love it. And you know what I love? I love the sultry sounds what's playing in my ear right now, nation. Can you hear it? Ooh, baby, you guys know these sounds. It's the sound of our creator spotlight. Kerschel knows the sound because I played it when I celebrated him a couple weeks ago. You ever look around and you think this should feel better, but it doesn't? Oh, no. Have you ever looked around? This should feel better than it does? Yeah, apparently I can't read. You've got routines. You've read the advice. Jimmy, cut that part out on this part. You've got routines. You've read the advice. You're trying to be grateful. Now you guys know my secret that I got some notes in front of me here. Not a little true story. Just listen. I'm not Jay-Z every fucking day. I don't just got all these lyrics just popping off my head nonstop. I do need to have some notes, you guys. I need to have some guidance. I can't just talk for 2 hours, just talk off the top of my head all the time. But I got to tell you, you're trying to be grateful, but it still feels like something's off. You want clarity, but all you get is more noise. You want peace, but your mind won't slow down long enough to feel it. That is exactly where this creator meets you. Her writing, her writing doesn't tell you to try harder. It helps you slow down and actually feel what's going on, not what you're pretending to feel. What's real, even if it's messy. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to introduce you on behalf of our friend this morning, who we celebrated last week, Steve Kerschel. We're going to introduce you to Donna MacArthur. Yeah, Donna. Oh, I got that. So I know, Steve, this is, I got the wrong one up here. So we're going to come back to yours, Steve. This is live because Jimmy's like, Keith, you got the wrong one up here. Yeah, so I know, Jimmy, I know. We're going to keep going with Donna MacArthur right now. She's our Substack creator spotlight. She's a chiropractor, a sobriety advocate. I know, Jimmy, I know. Just fucking give me shit on the side. I know. And the voice behind the bright life, a Substack. Again, Kerschel going, what the hell have I got myself into here? A Substack that offers grounded. He's like, I didn't nominate this person. A Substack that offers grounded wisdom for people who are burned out on fixing and ready to feel whole. One post might explore forgiveness and another might unpack energy, faith, or emotional exhaustion. Every piece is honest, warm, and rooted in real life. And if you've ever been carrying too much for too long, the bright life won't tell you to push harder. It'll help you find space to breathe. So guys, I invite you to follow and go check out Donna MacArthur's Substack and tell her that we celebrated her this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. And Donna, here's how it works. We'd love to have you on our show because I know there's somebody in your world that reads your content that you're like, yeah, I want to celebrate them. So we'd love to have you on Community Corner segment of our show and offer the Community Corner Creator Spotlight to you. Okay, so now I am going to do what I should have done originally, Mr. Kerschel, which is pull up the person that you've nominated. And yeah, I was not looking at my notes properly. That's just clearly what I have done here. So we're going to do it properly now, and we're going to get to this part again. What if your biggest block isn't rock bottom? It's the middle lane. Yep. High achieving, highly functioning, but low energy, low clarity, and slowly losing momentum. You don't feel broken. Nope. You just know you're not fully alive. And that's exactly where this guy found himself. He wasn't in crisis. He wasn't spiraling. He was just done waking up foggy, anxious, and disconnected from who he really was. So he made a radical decision. What was that decision? 30 days alcohol-free. Yeah. That one decision changed everything. More energy, deeper focus, better relationships, real peace. Make the same shift without the shame, without the labels, and without waiting for rock bottom. Jimmy, this guy's accomplished, man. Head of sales at Nintendo UK. Hey, I could use the new Switch. You want to send it my way? I'd love it for sure. Yeah, just bring it on over, but just pop it in the mail. Yeah, there you go. He's a certified positive psychology coach. He's leading a bold new conversation about alcohol-free leadership. His name, this morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, is excited to introduce you to James Lloyd. Yes, he's a sales leader by day. He's an alcohol-free advocate by choice, and he helps high achievers get their life back without giving up their ambition, because the real you isn't drowning. He's waiting to breathe. I invite you to follow James if you're ready to rewire your mindset, reclaim your clarity, and finally feel like yourself again. Steve, you nominated James for today's Creator Spotlight. Let's hear it, brother. Why are we celebrating him today in the lab?
So James and I trained together.
Hey, Jimmy, I think we're stuck somewhere. I don't know if it's Kersch stuck or I'm stuck. We're stuck somewhere, though. Hey, you're on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. This is a live show streaming to you live across the internets. Do we still use that word, Jimmy? Timmy? The internets? Yeah. So Steve Kersch is celebrating our friend this morning, Jimmy. Let me get my notes here this morning. It is James Lloyd. Yeah. He was nominated by Steve Kersch, whose internet has broken. And it's not, Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, Jimmy, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that Steve Kersch's internet broke. You know how I know? Because it's in the UK. And Jimmy, all of my experience when I interact with folks in the UK, their internet never works. So we're celebrating James Lloyd on behalf of Steve Kersch. He's an alcohol-free advocate. And James, we'd love to have you here in the lab. But if you're from the UK, you can't come because your internet's probably not going to work either. So you can go hang out with Kersch and you guys can figure your internet out. Jimmy, he's still stuck. I can see him. He's still frozen. So when he goes back to rewatch this later, he's going to be like, oh, yeah, I was frozen forever. James Lloyd, congratulations, man. We're celebrating you this morning on Creator Spotlight, Mornings in Lab Community Corner. We'd love to have you on the show, man. We'd love to give you the spotlight so you can shine it forward and celebrate somebody in your world on the Mornings in the Lab Community Corner Creator Spotlight. Okay, Jimmy, that segment's over. I am going to get to our last segment of the show. You're thinking, holy shit, we keep going? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get to the last one, Jim. I just need to find my notes here. And there it is right there. Okay. Yeah, I know. Let's do it, brother. Let's get after it. Let's keep it going. We got people in the community here. We got people chatting in the community here. Let's keep it rolling here. I'm moving over to the community corner. But I think I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to introduce what I did last time, which is, yeah, there we go. What do fake DMs, brain-controlled iPhones, and pull-ups have in common? They're all blowing up in the community right now, you guys. Let's dive into what's sparking conversation on LinkedIn and Substack. All right, over on LinkedIn, Jimmy, let's get after it, brother. Let's start with a spicy one from Matt Throne. He called out a new $3,500 a month service that promises to send 10,000 fake DMs. Yeah, there's a true story there. Think about that one. Good boy, Matty. $3,500, 10,000 fake DMs from attractive women. Yeah, think about that. Matt's post lit up over 100 comments. Some laughed, bringing some laughter to the world. But guys, service, 10,000 fake DMs, $3,500. Some folks thought it was quite outrageous. But I got to tell you, man, it hit a nerve. And what it did is it's raising real questions. Oh man, love this fucking song. It hit a nerve, and it's raising real questions about authenticity on LinkedIn. Guys, if you're trying to build trust, 10,000 fake DMs is not the way, people. Nope. Roof, safe drive, brother. Catch up soon. See you in the morning from the links in Washington, D.C. You drive safe, Roofy. Love you, pal. Take care of yourself. Next up, Dan Go. We all know Dan Go, big fan of Dan Go. He shared a killer pull-up tip from spine expert Stuart McGill. The trick? Jimmy, irradiation. Oh yeah, irradiation. You tense your whole body up like turning your muscles into the freaking Avengers. It's powerful. It's simple. And it's one of those tips that separate the average from the elite. Yeah, there we go. I invite you to check out Dan Go. You're looking for somebody to help you get after it in life? Go follow Dan Go or on LinkedIn. Emil Protolinsky takes us into the future. Apple's partnering with a brain-computer interface company to let people control iPhones with their minds. Think Neuralink, but less sci-fi. More accessible, especially for folks with ALS or other disabilities. If this tech works, it could change everything about how we interact with devices. I invite you to go check out what Emil Protolinsky is writing about and what Apple's doing in the world of accessibility. And guys, let's transition over onto Substack. We got some stuff over on Substack. A powerful reminder from the paths of stoicism. An hour a day is all you need. It's all you need, you guys. It's 3,600 seconds. Yep. This wasn't about productivity hacks or squeezing more into your calendar. It's about intention. What if just 1 hour of focused, undistracted time could change the trajectory of your day or of your life? Through the noise. It asked us how to slow down, zoom in, and commit to less, but better. So here's the question for you, nation. Here is the question for you, nation. Where can you carve out one day that's truly yours? Ask yourself. Then we found a gem. Continuing on the Substack platform, a sassy little gem called the sassy little Substack titled The Power of Words. It reminded us that words aren't just tools, they're weapons, they're healing, they're blueprints for how we think and live. We talk about leadership, we talk about legacy, we talk about influence, but it all starts with language, you guys. I fucking love language. How we speak to others, how we talk to ourselves. The post was a call to stop throwing words around casually. That's what it was all about, you guys, because every word shapes the culture we're building here. So let's talk about it. Sarah Zavala. What words have shaped you, for better or for worse? What words are you using throughout the day today? Don't be lazy. Judge. Yeah, I'm telling you, judge those that are lazy with their words. And then finally, Lisa Gail Gibson gives us a quiet masterclass in emotional wisdom. She wrote about the things that grow us. Love. Being loved for who we really are unconditionally. Now, loving, offering that same grace to others. Loss, surviving the hardest seasons and still showing up. And then the idea of courage, the kind that whispers, you got to try anyway. When everything feels uncertain. Growth doesn't always come from tactics or success stories, you guys. Sometimes it comes from grief. Sometimes it comes from risk. And sometimes it comes from showing up with your full heart. That's the kind of vulnerability we need more of. And that's the kind of vulnerability that Lisa Gail Gibson's writing about. You want to weigh in on these conversations? You want to be part of these conversations? You want to be on the fucking show? I'll tell you. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us on Substack. Tag Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends in your next post. We might just feature it on the next community corner. We might play some tunes. Might talk about it. We might shine the light on you. Just like we're shining the light on Sarah Zavala. What's going on, Sarah? Oh, geez, so many words. I have a whole list. I gotcha. But it's all about that one word. The power of words, the power of communication. In my experience, many people are lazy communicators. Communicate without intention. Talk just to talk. Choose your words. Know your audience. Play a good game of tennis. Think about that, you guys. The next time you're in a conversation with somebody, think about a good tennis match. Is it more enjoyable when the person standing on the side of the net just volleying back to themselves? Or is it more enjoyable when the ball goes back and forth? A good old volley. That's a good conversation, driven by good words, driven by good intention. Here we go. Jimmy, it's time to go, man. It's time to fucking go. Got after it today for, 2 and a bit hours. We had a lot of, I got to tell you guys, came to the show today. I said to Jimmy, I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. We knew it was going to be a big show because the shorts and all the data all the data led to the fact that today was going to be a big show. It's been one of our biggest shows today. And I thank all of you guys for tuning in. Sarah Zavala, Good Time, Lady Drew, Muffinstein, Scott Benzie, Matthew Roof. You're hearing my energy. You're hearing my love. You lead with love. You're hearing it all. Lauren, baby, I love you. Be driven. Producer Jimmy, producer Melissa. Rahima, I love all you guys as well. You guys have yourself an awesome day. We're going to get after it tomorrow. Right back here again, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Giving you guys more of what you guys desire. Entertainment, information, inspiration, and a reason not to hit that motherfucking snooze button. On behalf of Jimmy and myself, we're going to get out of here and we're going to just say this. Go Jets, go.